Spoke my language. The blue collar, I think the run-of-the-mill middle class has gotten screwed over so much by mainstream politics, mainstream media. And I'm a conservative at heart. I'm socially liberal. I really don't care what people do in their personal life. I don't. They can do whatever they want as long as it's not shoved down my throat. Trump spoke my language, and it's not like I voted for him because I wanted him to be my preacher or pastor. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, he's done a lot of bad things. Well, everybody's done a lot of bad things. Extramarital affairs, there again, he's not an altar boy, and neither is anyone else. No one's perfect. But that's one of the reasons why I support Trump, and I think he's patriotic. He didn't take a paycheck, his first term. He donated it to the parks, veterans, and stuff like that. The only other president that's ever done that was George Washington. Trump lost money being president. So that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, so yeah, he did donate his $400,000 salary to people, right? But he also spent $144 million of taxpayer money on golf trips, which is about $64 million more than what Obama did in 8 years. And not only did he just do that, but he also spent a lot of that money at his own businesses, like Mar-a-Lago, right? I can send you an entire document that has the lists of each different individual one that he went to. So obviously speaking, I don't think that just the $400,000 salary means that he's actually doing things beneficial for the people, when instead of using his own money to pay for these types of things at his own businesses, he used taxpayer money.
Is that much indifferent than Nancy Pelosi awarding her husband's company federal contracts? Because I'm a federal contractor. I know how that works.
I'm against that.
That's
I
wrong.
don't like Nancy Pelosi.
So, we can play tick for tack all day long. Anybody can do that.
Well, Sean, that was simply a response to you saying that he gave up $400,000 of his own money.
But that's a true statement, though.
But I also made a true statement.
Well, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Okay.
How much is 400,000 comparative to 144 million?
Well, there again, I'd have to see that actual data. I'd have to see that data because, the White House, recently the cocaine was found in it. I don't necessarily agree with that. And suddenly we can find, that's fine.
That's the percent. That's the 400,000 out of the 140 million. That's the percent of that much money that he gave up.
Okay. All right. Supposedly there's over 700 cameras within the White House, and someone drops cocaine. We can find one cow that has mad cow disease out of 5 billion freaking cows, but we can't find someone that drops some cocaine in the White House. So there again, the question is, why do I support Trump? That's why I support him. He spoke to what a lot of us patriotic blue, and I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Nebraska. So that's why I support Trump. Now, not everybody has to agree with me. And I really don't care whether they do or not. As I said, I'm 58 years old. And so what I've seen in my lifetime is probably totally different than what you've seen in yours. Because how old are you, sir?
I'm 21.
Okay, so I've got my children are older than you. And there again, when I was 21, I was pretty much a Democrat at heart. And then as I got older and I started seeing things, and the more successful I became, the more conservative I became. I didn't want my money being wasted. I don't view tax as an altruistic behavior. I think charity comes from the heart. The other thing I want to touch on is there seems to be this mantra of, they keep on saying that our system is democratic. Our system is a representative republic where the rights of the individuals are to be protected. A democracy is where the majority rules. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we live in a representative democracy. It's a type of democracy.
Representative republic. That's how our forefathers
representative democracy is still a democracy. And that type of
republic.
Sir,
we're a republic.
Yeah, that type of republic is still a form of democracy. These terms aren't mutually exclusive. And then secondly, I make a good amount of money now, and I have to pay taxes. I don't have an issue with it. Right. That's not the issue for me. And I actually, when I was younger, I was conservative. I grew up in a conservative Christian household. In 2018, I was a Trump supporter. Right. So I did the complete opposite, move. Right. When I started making money, I'm still liberal. Right. But I mean, I used to be a communist in between that. I went from being a Trump supporter to a communist, and then now I'm like a social democrat or a liberal. And my position here is totally empirically based. Like when I look at the Scandinavian countries, the average person are doing significantly better off than the average person here in the United States. They spend half as much on healthcare as we do, yet they have better health outcomes. They have greater access to education.
What are their taxes? What are their
They're higher for individual income tax rates, but for corporate tax rates, they're actually lower than we have here in the United States. So that particular tax structure is meant to.
Are you going to move there? Are you going to move there?
No, because I want to make America better off.
No,
and also I don't speak the language.
Well, I'm reasonably sure they probably speak English for the most part.
Not that many people. There's a good amount of people that do, but like not enough insofar as it would be like it is here, right?
So, would you consider yourself a patriot? You love this country?
Yeah, I do love America. Yeah.
So, do you support veterans?
Absolutely.
Do you have was any of your family in the military?
Yep. Both my grandpas were in the military.
Okay, my dad was a Vietnam veteran, combat veteran, and he was conservative. And there again, my grandparents, it's kind of ironic because when I was growing up, my paternal grandparents, they were from the old Democratic Party. And I can understand why, because it was like the JFK party, which is totally, I mean, John F. Kennedy would probably be rolling over in his grave right now with the current state of the Democratic Party. I think you may agree with that, right?
Well, I don't really know. Like, it's a completely different type of structure than it was now. There's significantly more technology than there is then. Like, it's just a completely different standpoint of reality.
Okay, so, your name is Parker, is that correct? That's a cool name, by the way. Parker, I guess my point is there again, that these are the reasons why I do support Trump. Now, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm entitled to do that. As you're entitled to have your choice. There again, what I get tired of is being a conservative. I feel like we're constantly being attacked by left wing. And when I say left wing, I'm talking just not only Democratic Party, the progressives, liberals. I just think that we're all the time being attacked for our beliefs and patriotism, love of country, love of God, and support of our law enforcement. I just think we're constantly being attacked, and I'm a gun owner. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I've got a brother who lives in Australia, and he's changed. He's been over there for 35 years. He thinks, well, we need gun control. We need people control. When I was in high school, my friends had guns in the back of our pickups. No one ever got shot. So I believe the value of life is also taken a downturn for the worse. That we don't teach the value of life and love of country and love of God, love of family.
Yeah, so I think when it relates to guns, it's going to be a gun and a people issue. Okay, so like there are places around the world that do have relatively high access to guns that don't have these types of issues that we see here in the United States. But not really that close, because the per capita rates of guns that we have here in the United States is like extremely high. So like one thing I would relate to with that is that I'm not like against people owning guns as in our current system, but ideally speaking, I would like it for us not to have guns, right? Ideally speaking, but like no one would be able to shoot other people, right? These are very harmful and dangerous weapons. Right, but in the reality, I would own a gun because other people have these dangerous weapons, and I have to be able to defend myself, given that these other people have these dangerous weapons. So, I'm just talking about like what's realistic here, right? We aren't going to be able to get rid of every gun here in the United States. There's way too many guns to be able to do that. Even if we did a buyback, there's not going to be able to get rid of all of it. And what that's going to do is going to take away guns from good people. It's not going to take away the guns from the bad people, right? So ultimately,
criminals will always get guns. Criminals will always get guns.
Yeah, but I mean, in other countries like Australia, particularly, they did have good enough buyback programs where it's actually extremely hard as a criminal to get access to these, as the AR-15s in their country can cost up to $25,000 on the black market.
Yeah, and so the buyback program, number one, I didn't buy them from the government, so how can they buy them back from me?
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Can I buy a gun from you?
Sure, you can buy a gun from me, yes.
Did you buy a gun from me?
I didn't buy a gun from you, no.
Yeah, so even though
but I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't buy the guns from the government, so there can't be a buyback from the government.
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy them from
buyback doesn't mean like I sell it to you and then buy it back from you. What it means in this scenario is like it takes the guns from the market or from production, right, back into the hands of an entity.
Yes, I know what that means. I understand what that means, Parker. I have no problem with the buyback program. If the government wants to buy my guns back, they just have to meet my minimum reserve, and that's $1 million a piece. That way I can hire a private security company.
What I was actually talking about there was mandatory buyback programs in Australia. I'm not arguing for buyback programs right now. I was just simply describing what happened in Australia.
No, and I've got a brother that lives in Australia, and the issue there is they did have that buyback, the mandatory buyback program, as they say. What's fascinating is death by knives and clubs have risen dramatically since that point in time. So I guess my thing is everybody's fixated on gun violence as if every other type of violence is okay.
No, it's actually here's a few things that I want to add. Knives significantly less likely to be able to kill as many people as you, and same thing with clubs, as you would be with a gun. A gun you can absolutely unalive way more people than you would to be able to with like a knife or with a club. So it's about the amount of people in a short period of time that you can take out. That's the argument when it relates to that. Right? But secondly, there are actually pretty high rates of knives, clubs, and stuff like that where people die in the United States. I need to compare this, but I'm pretty sure last time I compared, right, even the rates of knives deaths here in the United States are higher and exceed those of other nations.
So let me ask you this: what do you think is the worst firearm, the AR-15 or a shotgun?
It depends, right? Like on what we're talking about, because AR-15s, they have like no recoil, right? That's why they use them in these types of situations, is because very, very little recoil, easy to control, right? The thing is, it's hard to conceal, right? Same with a shotgun. Shotgun hard to conceal. Then also like you can't put as many bullets in at the same time. They're not going to use that as much for like those types of events. Shotgun's mainly for protection.
Okay, so is an AR-15.
It would be like a pistol, though. Pistol is like something that you can conceal more. It is something that you can shoot fast, right? It's just the issue is that with pistols is that there's a lot more recoil when it relates to them. That's probably why AR-15s are used more for those like school unalivings in the U.S. comparative to those other types of weapons. Well, I mean, even though using pistols would still be able to unalive a lot of people.
If we were going to ban any firearms, it'd probably be the handguns, because they're responsible for more deaths than anything else. That's across the board: suicide, accidental shootings. Pistols more responsible for it. If I want to do any type of inflict major damage, the shotgun would be probably the weapon of choice. Number one, because if one was to use a buckshot, okay, that's 9 millimeter or 38 millimeter balls coming out of that. So a group of 10 people, 5 people will die from a distance of around 25 to 50 feet. Where an AR-15, since it's a semi-automatic, and shotguns are semi-automatic too, they can be semi-automatic. So we have to look at, number one, we have, to me, a value of life problem in this country. There again, I am pro-life. I think that in the case of abortion, I think that there are specific cases that could be done on a case-by-case basis. But by and large, I'm against abortion. In the case of rape or incest, I think those are case-by-cases.
By the way, you have to say R word or essay. It's again TikTok TOS. I'm only cutting off just to let you know, because it's my platform.
I'm sorry.
I can lose.
Sorry about that.
You're good. Don't worry. There's no way you could have known.
So I just believe that we have a value of life problem in this country. And, the question is also, we have a 24/7 news cycle where things are reported rapidly. When I was growing up in high school, we really didn't know what was going on in China for like 2 weeks. But now we know what's going on all around the country. So is there more crime per se, or is it more reported and more accessible to get that information? There again, to me, that's an empirical data set that would need to be looked at. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's more accessible to like hear about. Rates of general violence have gone down. We've seen points in which it's gone up in terms of like COVID and stuff like that when it relates to like homicide rates and whatnot. They go back down. So like it has been going down over time, like proportionally speaking. The issue that people are bringing up is when it relates to like school unalivers, where they're able to unalive many people in a particular standpoint. And there's a real question that we need to ask: why are they using the AR-15 more than pistols? Okay, there must be something about an AR-15 that is particularly valuable in these circumstances for that school unaliver for them to pick that over pistols, right? There's something to look at there. And I'm not
Well,
arguing
I
to
agree.
ban any of these things particularly, unless there were arguments or studies that would indicate that it would reduce the likelihood of violence and bad things happening. The same way that when you say that you're pro-life, you're for restricting people's bodily autonomy in order to preserve life. So the same way that we would do that in the case of pro-life, we would also do that in the case of guns. If there were studies indicating that it would reduce the likelihood of people dying, given the fact that we get rid of particular firearms, thank you for the hand heart, appreciate it. Would you be for getting rid of those firearms?
No, I don't know, because I think there again, I think it's number one, we have enough laws in place. A felon cannot own a firearm. Just because there's access to firearms. My wife and I have firearms. We have grandchildren, and we have them locked up when the grandchildren are here. But when I was growing up, I walked down to my grandfather's basement, and the beams of the basement were lined with guns. Me and my brothers never even considered pulling one of those guns down and doing some ill will with it. It just wasn't. Boy, our ass would have been beat, dude, severely. So to me, we were taught when I was in high school, we had gun safety classes. Now we don't. We've demonized an object is what we've done. The gun is a tool, but if I take a Greyhound bus and drive it into a crowd of people, I can kill a lot of people, right? We're not outlawing buses.
Yeah, no, I agree that that can happen. I'm not disputing the notion that that can happen. And that's actually why we have barriers on streets to limit cars from being able to hit pedestrians. Sure. And because that does happen. There was actually a place like on a what's it called? Like a bridge where I grew up in Iowa, that they didn't have like a barrier, and someone was drinking and driving and they hit them, right? Hit those people. So they put up a barrier to limit that from happening, because those types of things shouldn't happen, right? But like the issue here I have with what you're saying is that you're for restricting bodily autonomy to save life when it relates to abortion, but you're not for restricting gun usage if it were to save lives. So it doesn't seem necessarily here that you're pro-life there, right? It seems like you're for implementing it in some circumstances, but not the other.
Well, okay, and I respect that. I guess my question is, so when you talk about me being pro-life and basically anti-AB, I can't remember what you called it, but I'm trying to be correct here. So the bodily autonomy.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry, there was a huge gift. Someone sent me a lot of money. I appreciate it. Sarah, thank you so much for the Interstellar, Sarah. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you. Let me pin that, by the way. I can't actually, it doesn't let me pin it. But I appreciate that so much, Sarah. Thank you so much. Absolute W's in the chat for Sarah. Sorry, you can continue. I apologize.
No, you're fine. I guess you're talking about the bodily autonomy, and I guess you're talking about, you said you need to use the letters A, B to stand for something. Is that right? I guess.
A, B? Wait, sorry, say that again?
Yeah, I can't say abortion, I guess.
Oh, you can say that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Bodily autonomy, I guess you're talking about the woman, correct? So where's the bodily autonomy for the child?
Oh, it still exists. The thing is that it's not the what's it called? The child isn't like using the resource, or I mean, isn't needing resources from the mother. The mother is providing resources for the fetus. Right, so my argument.
So what's a fetus?
Hold up, Sean. It's going to be an unborn child, right? That's what it is.
Which is a baby
at a particular stage. Yes. I hold a pro-sentience position. So whenever the fetus is sentient, that's when I think it's immoral to kill it. Okay, so I don't hold a bodily autonomy argument when it relates to abortion. But the thing is, I also extend that exact same reasoning to guns. Like if we were to have a study that shows that like that people are more likely to be unalive. There's more likely to be violence given that this gun exists. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. I would be for limiting usage of that gun because I'm in support of the human life. I value the human sentient life, right? The subjective experiences that we have way more than I value that particular autonomy to have that weapon or something like that, or be able to go out and shoot cans or something like that. That's significantly less in terms of value to me than the fact that someone's going to continue living, the fact that someone's going to have their child still alive. Right, those things are significantly more important to me.
I respect that, Parker, and I guess here, let me give you a little background. I'm skewed in some of my beliefs. Number one, my wife and I were married back in 1987. We lived in Colorado Springs in 1989, and 5 gentlemen chased her up the apartment stairs. She came in running in the apartment crying. I had to go out there and with my firearm and draw down on them, or she was going to be raped. Okay.
Again, R word or essay, by the way, because it's a TikTok TOS.
Oh, sorry. So I had to protect my wife from being attacked, brutally attacked and raped from 5 individuals. Okay.
Again, R word and essay, because again, by the way, you can say grape either, right? If you keep saying it, it might trigger the algorithm. So if you do say it one more time, I do have to go on to the next person. Like I can't have it keep being said on the platform because it's TOS.
I'm missing what you're saying. What you mean? I don't know what I'm saying improperly, I guess.
So you know the word grape that you just used? Take out the G.
Oh, okay. I got.
Yeah. Right, that word we can't say on TikTok. There's a bunch of weird words that we can't say on TikTok. Like I have to say unalive rather than the KILL. Like there's a bunch of things on TikTok we have to say that like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, just like R word, essay, grape. You can say that. Those things you can say. It's just the TikTok algorithm picks up on that type of stuff.
All right. My apologies. Now I got it. So my wife was going to be raped, and I had to protect her. I never had to unload on these individuals, but that's where I had to use something to protect my wife, and so that's why I'm pro self-defense, so to speak. I got to be careful because I don't want to mess things up for you. Okay.
See, I'm pro self-defense too. I think you should have shot in that circumstance too. I'm 100% on board with you there. Like 100% on board. I'm not against necessarily having those particular guns. What I'm saying is that if there's a study that a particular gun is going to lead to significantly more violence if it's accessible to the public, we should probably not give access to that. The same way that we probably don't want to give people access to miniguns or to RPGs or to nuclear weapons, right? Under the Second Amendment, these things would be allowed. And that's why we don't have an absolutist stance when it relates to the Second Amendment.
Do you believe we have an absolute right to freedom of speech?
No, because I mean we can't engage in like defamation, right?
No. I agree with that. What I'm saying is, okay, so what about how about the I believe this is the 8th Amendment, 8th bill that the government cannot subject us to cruel and unusual punishment. Should we do away with that one?
No, we should probably keep that one.
So you're more than willing to do it with some other ones, but not that one. What about the right to speedy trial? Should we do away with that one?
No, obviously not.
What about due process? Should we do away with that one?
I like due process, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, by the way, me being against one particular thing and showing that is actually something that other judges are also against. There's almost no judges that hold an absolutist view when it relates to Second Amendment.
Well, and that may be, and that's up to them. That's within their opinion.
Do you hold an absolutist view?
Yes, I do. Yes,
so do you think people who are rich enough should be able to have access to nuclear weapons?
I don't particularly have a problem with it, Parker. It's like, should we have access to a 450 horsepower car when the speed limit's 80 miles per hour? I mean, if it can do 300, why? I mean, what's the point, right?
Wait, so you think people should have access to nukes? Do you think people should have access to RPGs?
Well, I can make one of those.
Do you think people should have access to chemical weapons?
I can make one of those.
Yeah, but do you think that should be legal?
I don't think it should be illegal. I think there should be a process. I mean, I've got an explosive license. Okay.
Do you think people should have access, legally speaking, to miniguns?
Of what again?
Like
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you think people should have legally have access to miniguns?
Miniguns? I guess I'm quite. What is a minigun exactly?
Oh, here I'll show you.
Because it could be a zip gun too.
It's like one of these.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, okay. So you know how fast these can shoot bullets? They can
How many rounds per?
They can unload a few hundred rounds within a few seconds.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think there should be licenses on that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
I don't think. Yeah. I don't. I think there should be some type of training that one has to go through. I mean, just like I do, because I have an explosive use license. I have to go through training for that.
Okay. Do you think people should have access to tanks?
Sure. Why not? I'd love to have a tank. I think it'd be fun.
Like tanks that can be operated and that can shoot missiles.
Yeah, I'd like to have one. I've got friends that have a lot of property. I mean, thousands of acres. I'd love to have a tank and shoot it. It'd be cool. Set up a target and be 2 miles away and see if I can hit the damn thing.
Yeah, so if Elon Musk wants to buy a nuclear weapon, you think that should be legal?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so let's say that there was an event where a billionaire had access to a nuclear weapon and dropped it on a population center. Would that be would that be something that then you'd be like, okay, we can't have those anymore?
Well, like there again, I mean, we can do what ifs all day long, right?
Oh no, this could happen under that view, right? Like, do you think that should be allowed?
A lot of things could happen, Parker. A lot of things could happen under any view. I mean,
yeah, but this is particularly your view, right?
Right. I'm not gonna. Far be it for me to tell somebody what they can or cannot own.
Okay, so again, even if it was dropped on a population center like Los Angeles, right? You would still say that people should be able to have access to these.
But that's never happened. I mean, we can have
because
an M16.
We make it illegal. Yeah.
Well, we can still have an M16, and technically, you can buy a tank. It'll cost you a lot of money, but you can buy a tank.
You can't make it armed though.
What I'm saying is that there again, it's motivation behind people. It's a mindset. Does that make sense?
No. So can you answer my question though? Given that someone dropped it on a population center like Los Angeles, would you still be okay with people having access to that legally?
Well, should the government have those weapons? Should any government have those weapons?
No government should have that weapon, right? But given the fact that we do have those weapons, yeah, given the fact that we have those weapons and that they're going to have those weapons, we need an individual that has a monopoly on violence, i.e. the government, to make sure that there's mutually assured destruction, so that there aren't these types of events that can occur. But the idea here is that private citizens having them is not required for there to be mutually assured destruction. Okay, so amongst governments. So the idea here is that if a private citizen dropped a nuclear weapon on Los Angeles, right, and it killed 1 million people at least, probably more than that if we're talking about a nuclear weapon, would you then still say that should be legal?
It's hard for me to fathom someone doing such an evil thing, because with Hitler, what did he do first thing during the Holocaust? He disarmed the citizens. What he did, he disarmed the citizens so they couldn't fight back. So they had no way to fight the tyranny of government. Would you agree?
We can't fight the tyranny of government now.
What I'm saying is, I don't particularly have a problem with people having any type of firearm that they can afford, whether it's a Macmillan 50 caliber or whatever.
No, I want you to answer
I,
specifically, right? Like, they drop the nuclear weapon on Los
mm-hmm,
Angeles and it kills over 1 million people. You're still
mm-hmm.
for it being legal?
Well, that's one instance where that person should be prosecuted, but I'm not going to say you shouldn't be able to have one. Because are you going to do that? I wouldn't do that.
Obviously, I wouldn't do that, but we're saying that it should be allowed for people to do that. So, like, for example, right? Then you could also apply this to abortion, right? You're not going to get an abortion, right? I'm not going to get an abortion.
Well, I can't.
The
I'm a
others aren't
male.
going to get an abortion, right? But it would be such a bad thing if someone were to get an abortion, right? So we should still leave it up to their choice to get an abortion, right? But I mean, it would be a bad thing, and they should be like sentenced or something like that, right? But
Well, see, with the case of abortion, Parker, here's my thing: is that I am skewed, and I have to admit that. Full disclosure, my wife and I lost our only youngest daughter to brain cancer when she was 10 years old. Okay, so my value of life is
I'm sorry to
probably
hear that,
different
man.
than other. My value of life is probably a lot different than other people's. Okay, so for full disclosure, I have to say that. So my value of life is I think all life is precious, Parker. It's as simple as that. And so I think there are cases where we could say, hey, incest or rape, or sorry, incest or graping, those are individual cases that I think that individual should make. However, the empirical data of being raped shows that those women have that child in spite of the horrific act because they feel like it empowers them to overcome that horrific act and raise that child. That's what the
I
empirical
wouldn't
data
say that
shows.
there's a causal relation there, but yes, most people who do get raped, they do, and I think there should be exceptions for that, right? Even
Yes.
with my sentience view. But the idea here is that if you value human life and you think it's very precious, we should not allow people to have nuclear weapons and can take away so many people's lives, right?
Okay.
I know that you
I
can't
respect
relate
that.
to that now because it's illegal already, right? Like having access to nuclear weapons. Right? But if people did have access to nuclear weapons, there would absolutely be one individual out there that has enough money that would do something insane like that.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with you there. Okay. I would agree
Yeah.
with you.
And
Okay.
it's precious.
I'm not trying to argue with you.
Yeah,
Parker.
sentient
I'm not
life.
trying-
No, it's fine. Sentient life is so precious that we should know that these types of events can and will happen if we
Sure.
do not put legislation there to stop that from happening. So that's why I don't think you should hold to an absolutist view of the Second Amendment, right?
Okay.
I don't think anyone
That's
would.
fine.
And that's fine, right? Like I'm not saying I'm against all aspects of the Constitution. Obviously, there's lots of aspects I'm against. Like the 13th Amendment literally allows for slavery in our country still for people who are imprisoned, right? I'm against that, right? But that doesn't mean I'm against every aspect of the Constitution. There are lots of aspects of the Constitution that I would be in support of.
Well, I think that in the case of slavery, number one, I think it's horrible. But, slavery across all mankind of civilization, slavery has always been the rule. It's never been the exception. In all points in history, there's been one group of people that's been enslaved to another. The Jews were enslaved for 400 years, and yet we don't hear a whole lot about that. So slavery's always been the rule. It's never been the exception. It's wrong. It's morally and ethically wrong. No person should own another person, in my view.
Okay, so here, let me clarify what you're saying because the way you said it, it's a moral rule. So it's not really a rule. Here, it was just like what mostly happened. Yes, slavery throughout society was happening in most societies, right? But I'm just saying that in America, like we still allow for it. That's all I was saying with the 13th
Yeah.
Amendment in prisons.
And we shouldn't.
Yeah, obviously, I agree. So both of us agree we shouldn't, right? So like, I was just trying to clarify the way that you were saying it because people might misinterpret that. Because when we're talking about
Yeah.
rules and exceptions, we're talking about morally speaking what we see to be justified, what we see not to be justified. So it just could have been taken out of context when I know,
okay.
I know
I got you.
that's not what you meant there, right? So I'm just trying to clarify for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be an ass here, Parker. I'm not.
Oh no, I know you're not. That's why I'm clarifying because I know that you're not trying to say that. But yeah.
No.
Yeah, of course. So let's go back to the idea of Trump. So like what particularly like about Trump do we support again?
Particularly what do I support about him?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you asked me?
Yep.
Okay. I've always wanted a businessman as the leader of this country because I think America should be ran as, number one, I believe in country first. Okay. Charity starts at home. I really don't care what's going on in other countries, and I think that's that's what I see in Trump. And there again, I remember Trump being on the Oprah show back in the '80s, and everybody loved him and what he was saying. I don't like all of our jobs being outsourced. He stood up in front of Ford Motor Company, a lot of these car companies, and said, if you move the factories over to this country, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on them. No one's going to buy your cars. They didn't move them, which kept the jobs in this country. Trump has spoken a language for me, okay, and most of my family, because we're all blue collar workers, that we haven't heard since the Reagan years. And there again, I know I get a lot. I know people are going to comment and bash me on it, and that's fine. That's their right. You asked me the question, I'm telling you, and that's all I can do.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So here, I'll ask you about other stuff. Right. Okay. So particularly, like, yeah, I don't think Reagan was good. I would relate to like trickle down economics, in which has actually like destroyed the middle class. If we look at wages since the 1980s, they've essentially stayed stagnant if you account for inflation. Since then, right, and that's why we've seen a lot of the pricings for like college, right, housing go up significantly more than our ability to actually pay for it, right? And that's why we see like rental to be.
Well, that's a lifestyle, though. That's a lifestyle choice.
No, it's not a lifestyle choice. We're talking.
No, it is truly a lifestyle choice. What it costs you to live, what it costs me to live, or you to live, are two totally different things. Okay, me and my wife, we paid $27,000 for our house 12 years ago. We live out in the middle of nowhere in Nebraska. We had to fix it up. Most people would not have bought this place. There again, since I'm from the trades, I can do those things. And I have to consider myself privileged to be able to do that, okay? Because I know plumbing, I know electrical, I know HVAC. Not everybody can do that, and I recognize that. But there again, the cost of living, my wife stayed home with the kids. I made $9.35 an hour in the 90s, a wife and 3 kids. We didn't have brand new cars. I had to work on our cars. So I think the American standard of living, the poorest person in this country.
What you were making there was $27 an hour, by the way, because in 1990 was about, I think it's like, actually it might have been 18 or 27. I'll have to look at the inflation rate since then, but around 30 years ago, that was like significantly more money than it is now. That's still higher than the minimum wage now. You understand the minimum wage now is $7.25.
Yeah, and I don't think there should be a minimum wage.
Yeah, we can only do that if we have a union membership at extraordinarily high rates like they do in Scandinavia.
I don't think there should be a minimum wage at all. I don't think the government has any business working for someone. That's a private agreement between employee and employer.
Yeah, see, but the point is if you let that happen, people get taken advantage of, right? And we don't want
well, then they
people
don't have
to be
to
taken
work there.
advantage of.
They don't have to work there, do they?
I understand that, but they're oftentimes given the market conditions because no one else is providing higher wages. They are forced to pick those particular things because they have no other choice. So the idea about
have you ever employed
wage,
anybody? Have you ever employed anybody, Parker?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever do you sign a paycheck on anybody?
No, I don't.
I do. I employ people.
Okay.
Sir,
you're not letting me finish my point, though.
Okay.
Finish my
Sorry.
point? Right? If you look at other countries that don't have minimum wage, the only way that they're able to retain higher wages for the people have extraordinarily high union membership because the unions will be able to bargain for higher wages.
I don't like
regardless
unions.
of whether or not regardless of whether or not we have the whether or not I've employed people, that doesn't say anything about my knowledge about how minimum wage is going to impact the economy, right? Because economic trends are a lot broader in terms of how it impacts people, rather than just on an individual level who you can hire and who you can't hire, right? Because different businesses impact differently.
Someone just posted pity on the people that work for this person. Well, you know what? My head secretary has been with me for 17 years, so I must not be all that bad. She makes very good money. To me, reward is based upon performance. She does a hell of a job. If I wasn't a good employer, she wouldn't be there for 17 going on 18 years. Her daughter works for me. So the person just said pity the person that no, my head secretary is not my wife, by the way. See, this is Parker. Here's the problem: is I say something, these people come on and bash me. I'm not bashing anyone.
Can you tell me what the point I made was?
You're saying that with minimum wage, it increases people's standard of living, and there's no empirical data to suggest that. I think that's
I
what you're
didn't
saying in a
even make
nutshell.
that claim. I didn't even make
Okay,
that
I'm
claim. The
sorry.
claim that I just made was particularly that just because you have experience with a business doesn't mean you know more about how the minimum wage will impact the broader economy, or at least on a macro level, right? I actually pointed to other countries in which they don't have a minimum wage, but the only way that they're able to retain those particular higher wages is because they have access to
Collective bargaining.
like collective bargaining through unions. But actually, the point that minimum wage does increase standard of living, that is empirically based. That is actually absolutely true. Because when you increase minimum wage, it increases wages not only for the people who work minimum wage, but also above everyone above that standpoint.
No, that's
There
not
is
true.
actually empirical data that points towards that notion.
I disagree with that.
I can give you a study too.
Please do.
Would you
Please do. I'd love to see that and where that study came from.
You can go on and make a point while I find it.
But my point is, I think that anybody's wage is a private agreement between an employer and employee. The employer says, "Hey, I need you to do this job. I'm willing to pay you this much." It's up to the employee to be able to negotiate. Well, how about you pay me this much for it? That's why I don't like a minimum wage, because minimum wage, if we say, okay, if that works, why don't we make the minimum wage $100 an hour? Could we do that?
You know, it's obviously up to a particular threshold, right? So the argument that I'm making isn't that like we make the minimum wage $10 million, right? And then everything's better, everything's great. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is that minimum wage up to a particular standpoint is going to be beneficial, right? Because it's going to increase the standard of living for people who are already making the lowest levels of income, right? Along with the fact that it increases wages for people at higher levels of income, right? And I can give you a study not only that would say that raising it to 15 in the United States would lift pay for a lot of people from the EPI, but I can also send you stuff from other countries, or I mean not other countries, the Congressional Budget Office and stuff like that shows impacts of minimum wage on employment, family wages, stuff like that, right? And this is from 2014, like an entire study here. If you'd like to see it, is there any way I can send this to you? This is from the Congressional Budget Office.
Yeah, if you, I can give you my email address. I have no problem with that.
I wouldn't say that on the live. Is like you can
Okay.
just do you know how to DM people on TikTok?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, just DM me and I'll try to look through my message requests. Hopefully, I will be able to
Okay.
find it. I don't know if I'll completely remember because I'm only like halfway through my live, so there's gonna be another 3 hours. So I'll try to find it later on.
Okay.
And whatnot. But if you want to look it up yourself, you can look up the effects. This is the title: the effects of minimum wage increase on unemployment and family income. And this comes from the CBO, right? The Congressional Budget Office.
Sure. Okay.
So if you want to look that up, you can as well.
Well, I appreciate this conversation, Parker. You know, there again, I see some comments and they're not very nice, and you know, go read a book, Sean. Well, I read books. I just think these things are unnecessary. You know.
Yeah, maybe at some points it would be unnecessary. Like if we were to make the minimum wage $100 an hour, that's probably going to put
No,
bad
I'm talking about the
conditions for people.
comments. I'm talking about the comments, Parker. There's, I'm being kind of bashed here, so I should probably go. You know.
Okay, you're good, man. I appreciate it, Sean. It was good talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. If you like the content, follow me for Ready Blonde. Thank you for the hand heart. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hand hearts, Blonde. Absolute W's in the comment section. Everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. If you disagree, make sure to send a guest request right now. Please only send a guest request if you support Trump. By the way, everyone, we're a little over halfway through the live. We got another 2 hours and 45 minutes left on the live. If you do like this type of content, follow me if you haven't already. I do go live literally on a daily basis. We do this type of content. Thank you for the little crown. I appreciate this type of topic and other topics as well. Always doing debates. Thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. By the way, everyone, if you just like me in general, you can also go to my second account, Parker Get a Bible. I do Q&A lives there where I just like chill with chat. Thank you for the hand heart. I appreciate it. But this is my debate account. Thank you for the hand hearts. I appreciate it. But let me go on to the next person, everyone. Again, if you like the content, follow me if you haven't already, y'all. Thank you for the hand hearts. Thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you, Storm. I appreciate the hand hearts. W Storm in the comment section. W Storm. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let me try the next person. It's not accepting this person for some reason. But yeah, again, by the way, we got about 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you want to have access to the sub-only chat that I'm going to put on for the last hour of the live, make sure to subscribe to me if you haven't already. It helps me come on here every single day. You get access to all the emotes and the sub-only chats that I always put on for the last hour of my live. You doing a chill live tonight? I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing with AJ. Jada, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it, Jada. Thank you so much. Noah, thank you for the cap. I appreciate it. You, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Big Mouth, thank you so much for the hand tar. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. As long as we get requests for this live, I'll continue on this. But yeah, tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, y'all. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Thank you, Troubled. I appreciate the hand heart. Thank you. I'm playing Pokemon. Absolute W. Absolute W. Pokemon's a W. Gas is 2 times since Biden took in office. Correlation does not indicate causation, right? There's inflation's a global phenomenon. Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 19.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I do support Trump.
Why so?
I believe that Donald J. Trump, he is a God-fearing man, and I support that from a biblical perspective.
Okay, so you know that both Biden and Trump are Christians.
Yes. However, in Exodus, I believe that Jesus says if someone slaps you on the right cheek, then you turn to the left. And that is why I am not in favor of homosexuality, and I know that Biden is, and I know that Donald J. Trump, he is not in favor of homosexuality.
Actually, literally, Trump is okay with people who are gay. He's actually supported policies that are meant to. Thank you, Cinder. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much for the Lucy Llama. Meant to decrease violence towards people who are gay in countries abroad. This is actually a point that conservatives make all the time. So you must be trolling.
Trolling?
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading things from a biblical perspective. If I'm honest with you, I believe that Trump isn't in favor of immigration. I have seen him quote things like that, and honestly, I completely agree with him. I believe that he creates an amazing outlet for those little...
Wait, I have a question. Who from Ireland sounds like this? Dude, the Ireland in the guest, I mean in the chat is so funny. Oh my god. Dude, fuck, bro. All right, let's go to the next person. If you like the content, follow me if you're ready. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everyone. All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you support Trump, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, did they fall asleep? Okay, you can literally hear them snoring, chat. You could literally hear them snoring. Someone said she's from Southern Ireland. Bro, that's rough. That's rough, chat. That's rough. All right, let me go on to the next person, chat. If you disagree, make sure to send a guest request right now. Y'all know I accept the first people who send requests. So send it right now if you do support Trump, y'all. Stop it right now? Why do you want me to stop it right now? We need some Trump supporters on the live right now. Right now. If you're a Trump supporter, send a guest request right now. The Arkansas shirt changed me, chat. Yo, thank you for that mustache. I appreciate it. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yeah, thank you for that mustache. I appreciate it, Tank. Thank you so much. By the way, everyone, we don't have many guest requests. Only send a guest request if you disagree. If you support Trump, if you do agree with me, I'm going to kick you out, by the way. I'm scared of Southern Parker. Don't be scared, bro. This is how we do it. Yeehaw. Let's go. The hat? No one talks like that down here. What do you mean no one talks like that down here? Everyone talks like that down here. You haven't even been down the south? You think you've been down the south, bro? This guy lives in the south and he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know his own place. Yo, thank you. I appreciate the hat mustache. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, 44.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
Oh, I love Trump.
Why so?
Oh, just like, I love orange, and he's orange. And I love wigs, and he wears a wig. So I just think he's a sound bloke. I love guns, by the way. Nothing better than guns.
Everyone only send a guest request if you support Trump. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. Okay, it's not even getting people up. Oh my gosh, everyone. There's like no guest requests. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We're just looking for some debates.
Can I come debate you?
Well, you don't support Trump, but like...
I do. Did they see my t-shirt?
Oh my god, bro. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Sorry. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Irishman. I love him. He's a good lad.
Yeah, get the fuck out, Tony.
Yo, chill out. Okay, AJ, go.
I was doing some facial routines.
Yeah, do some facial routines in the bathroom,
Okay,
bro.
alright.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Just give me a hug.
29.
Yeah, sure. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Why so?
Well, first of all, let's see who our president is now, how the economy is now, and how the world's turning to shit compared to...
Yeah, so specifically, like, since we're just using correlation here, right, are we also going to say that the 15% unemployment during Trump's presidency was caused by Trump?
No.
No, it was like environmental conditions, right?
Well, it was also a different time.
Yeah, and now it's also a different time, and the different time is also impacting everyone globally. Like, inflation is a global phenomenon. It actually is worse in Europe than it is here in the United States. So the idea that Biden particularly would be the cause of inflation or why the economy is doing the particular way it is isn't necessarily true. This would just be a correlation causation fallacy. Just because things are associated doesn't mean that one caused the other. The same sort of way that, like, there is actually an increase in violent crime when there is an increase in how much ice cream people buy. So do you think that the increase in how much ice cream people buy increases violent crime? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. My bad.
Thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate it, Wolf. Thank you so much.
I mean, I don't know. I just saw you on live and I'm...
By the way, if you're going out of TikTok right now, I can't hear you whenever you do that. You're paused right now. So I don't know what you're saying right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's just also like the fact that the way that Trump had the support from the rest of the countries and the way that he's a businessman, like that's what he does, and the relationships that he built with other countries, like we don't have that anymore. Like we could, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that much obviously about it. So maybe if you my mind, I mean, maybe I shouldn't support Trump, but I mean, that's why it's a debate. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just.
Oh, sorry. You can finish.
No. That's it. I mean, you know, I'm here to learn. So, but.
Yeah. So actually, our relations with our allies are significantly better now than they were during Trump's presidency. If you remember, there was.
I do not believe that at all. I'm sorry. I do not believe that at all. At all.
Yeah, so if you want to look at, like, particularly, like, there were multiple events in which there were the leaders, the prime minister from France, from the UK, and from Canada, Justin Trudeau, making fun of Trump, right, at that place. And then he got so mad and he ran away and left because they were making fun of him, right? And this was something that was, like, global news.
What about the support for the military? Because my whole family is in the military. My husband's in the military. Everybody's in the military. So what about that, though? Because the same support that we got from Trump, the amazing support that we had from him, all the things that he did, like, we don't have any of that now. So, like, I'm here to learn.
What do you not have now? Because military spending has increased since Biden's been in office.
It has not.
You're factually wrong.
Okay. I'm here to learn, so I mean, I'm open, but how
Yeah,
is that?
they tell us how much money that they spend on the military, and it increases, especially with inflation each year. So it absolutely has increased since then. But secondly, or actually, I'll just let you go on to the next point.
No, I mean, that's it. I mean, that I gotta go anyways, but I just wanted to come in here because I mean, you know, I know there's other people that have better points and stuff like that. So,
Oh, one thing I want to say before you leave, because this is related to
Yeah, of
veterans.
course.
Do you remember John McCain?
yeah.
He's a veteran. He got teared down by Trump for not actually being like a good person, or like for being bad, because he got captured by the opposing side. There's like a huge now he was like talking really bad about John McCain because of that.
Okay, I'll look that up. Thank you so much, and thanks for being nice.
For sure. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks.
All right, everyone. Again, if you like the content, make sure to follow me if you've already. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. If you like this type of content, again, follow me if you haven't already. If you want to have access to the sub-only chat that I put on for the last hour of my live, make sure to subscribe to me if you haven't already. It helps me come on here every single day, so I appreciate everyone doing so. By the way, everyone, we got about an hour and 30 minutes until we go on to the sub-only chat, and then for the last hour of the live, we will be doing a sub-only chat, of course. Y'all know I do sub-only chat for the last hour of my lives every single day. The rest of the hours are always open, everyone. All right, let's see if we can get this person up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
84.
Okay, have a good day. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Send a guest request if you support Trump, everyone. Topic change, please. If we can't get guest requests, we will do a topic change, everyone. We will do a topic change if we can't get guests. I'm trying my hardest to get people in here, though. There's like no one in here. Is there an age max? Nope, there's no age max. That person was definitely not 86, that's why. I mean 84. Yeah, that was a blatant lie. Like, obviously. I think anyone noticed that. Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
40.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I do. I think that man is an absolute legend and a hero.
Are you driving, by the way?
No, I'm not. I'm in a warehouse.
Okay, for sure. Just making sure. So why so?
What other man on this planet can convince millions of people that Mexico is going to pay for a wall? What man on this planet is going to be able to sell his NFTs for $99 a pop? There is no other man. He is one of the greatest con men to ever exist on this planet. So much so, he conned his way into the greatest office in the land, the president of the United States.
Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, what's up? How old am I?
Yeah.
27.
What's your birth year?
1995.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I do not.
All right, I'm just looking for some people who support Trump to debate, but I appreciate you coming on.
Can I ask why you're not asking for the other side?
Yeah, this is a debate platform.
Okay, so
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, right? I am the other side. All right. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
I was born in 1961. I'll be 6 in a couple of weeks, August 25th.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I don't understand how he blinded. I used to be a Democrat. But when I seen just changing things up,
Oh,
how
Jill,
my
you're
life
lagging
was,
a lot. Is there any way you can fix your Wi-Fi?
what's it doing?
It's lagging a lot. I can't really hear you. You're cutting off every 2 seconds.
Is the internet having issues?
No, it's.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and get out. Let somebody
I
else come
appreciate
on.
it, Jill. If you come on another time, I would appreciate it. Have a great night. All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you support Trump, everyone. If you don't support Trump, I'm literally going to kick you out, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 25.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
No, I just wanted to promote my account. Everyone go follow me. Bro
just said I want to promote my account. Like, You know, I've never kicked someone off quicker.
Wait, Parker, what do you think about my shirt? It's Lauren Daigle.
Oh, show people.
Should I show people?
Yeah, go for it.
Does anyone know who Lauren Daigle is?
Yeah, he's obsessed with Lauren Daigle, chat. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
11 September.
Can I just say everyone in your chat loves Lauren Daigle? I just want
Yeah, everyone loves Lauren Daigle.
Okay, see ya.
Hi.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Actually 15.
Oh, you gotta be 18 plus to join the live. TikTok rules. Oh my gosh, does Johan support? Johan, do you support
Hey,
Trump?
bro. Yeah, I do. I've
Oh
already
my god,
expressed
Johan, you
this.
have like all the worst positions, dude.
Man, I try to be me and I see the truth in it. And so I'm gonna bring up some points here that makes Trump so valid, right? On top of the entirety of every president that has ever come to be, and I'm gonna explain it here. First of all, right? The man knows about politics if he's in the presidency, right? So that's step one. Step two, the man is a businessman, hence his net worth. He's worth what, 7 or 8 billion, right? So I think that any land needs somebody that is capable not only of managing the funds and creating jobs for others, him being somebody that knows about the politics and the the finances, right? Again, Joe Biden seems to be lost all the time. Also, Parker, I would like to apologize from here because I had like greenery. I'm not gonna say what I had on live, but I had greenery before I came, so I might be a little bit like slow in my speech. But yeah, you get the point. So yeah, that's
By
my point.
greenery, do you mean the devil's lettuce?
Yeah, I had a little bit before I came on the live, but still.
Johan, I'll respond to some of your points you made, and then I'll have you come on a different day because I don't want to. I don't want to tear you down when you're off that Mary Jane, my guy. But
Okay.
but yeah. So I mean, if you want to come on a different day, man.
No. I can fully comprehend everything right now. Again, like I could respond to any point. I'm very calm. Just again, I usually take a little bit more time to respond because I think about much more about what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
like,
guess that's a
yeah. In terms of the businessman, right? Do you think that Elon Musk would be a good president?
If he knew about his politics in the same realm as Trump, I mean, sure, yeah, there's nothing that's stopping him, right?
Okay. Do you think that we would rather want to have like an economist in office or just a businessman?
An economist would be great. I'm not gonna lie, but like a businessman has to know somewhat about the economy, right? To even make his fortune, especially when we get into the realm of the billions, right? And so again, I would say
I don't know about
that's,
global economic markets. Like I would probably question his level of knowledge of economics, at least compared to economists. So like, yeah, I would say that like, yeah, you'd probably have to know about particular markets, but you definitely don't need to know about macro trends and stuff like that. That would be important, at least on a legislative aspect. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So it'd be better within that respect. So, and then you also brought up the age aspect in relation to Biden. This is one I agree with, but you know, Trump's also extremely old and Trump is also extremely lost. I think we'd both agree that there needs to be an age cap on who can run for office, but digressing from that point. Right.
Yeah.
I think what's most important is going to be the legislation that's passed, the administration that exists, and then the federal judges in place. Right. So the federal judges put in place under Trump are going to be significantly worse, under my perspective, comparative to what would be under Biden. As under Trump, it's going to be blocking progressive legislation into the future. Right. You might not be progressive, you might not be looking towards those particular policies, but that's absolutely going to be significantly more negative for the country overall comparative to Biden.
Right. Again, for me, it would actually be a plus. As for you, it would be something that would be taking away, right? But yet again, I mean, and that's just touching on the tip of the iceberg, right? Because if we want to talk more about Trump, you know, it's very clear to me that this man has a character and a personality, and you know, whether you like to admit it or not, you know, people respect him for what he's done, you know, and you know, nobody could pretty much take that away from him. And again, if we go back to Biden, who respects Biden, right? So again, so
well, a good amount of
it
people
just
respect
goes
Biden,
based on
but
it.
the reason why people voted
I
for
mean-
Biden is because of because they don't like Trump, right? I think that is the biggest signal. It's not because people like Biden, it's because people don't like Trump. That's why he got 80 million votes.
Right, but like during the time that he like that he was in power, right? I think that we could all agree that he was moving things around in the sense that everybody knew who Trump, you know, was on the planet, and everybody seemed to talk about Trump constantly. There was definitely a time where I would go on Twitter, on Instagram, right, and all I used to see was Trump, 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 right? And again, for somebody to be a president, and a good one at that, they need to have a level of relevance, of relevancy. There you go. Amongst the crowd, and especially amongst the youth too, right? I mean, he seems to be connected with pop culture, with the youth, and with the elders too, right? And so again, he just ticks every box when it comes to you know, who I want to run a major country like the United States. I mean, he seems like the most viable option out there, especially from the options that we have right now, right? So again, so I think that we should support Trump. Again.
Yeah, so just because people know about him doesn't mean he's like very, very good, right? Many people know who Schmittler is, right?
Right.
Yeah, does that mean that Schmittler was a good candidate?
Right, but he led his country, right? And everybody respected him under his rule, right? I mean, I think that we could both agree on that. As long as somebody has presence in all the right places, I guess you could say, right? I mean, that's a very important asset, and that's how.
Wait, can you say what you just said again? I'm sorry, I'm confused. What?
Right. So again, so you asked me if the mustache man, if it made him good, the fact that he had all of this attention, right, and that how everybody sees him. And I was like, yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, he was a good leader due to the fact that many people did follow him, and many people were afraid of him because of the name that he did have. And so, yes, he
What does
did,
it mean to be a good leader?
Your people have to respect you, and you have to boost the economy of that country. I would say like, those are the two primary things, and Mustache Man did that.
Yeah,
for
so
Germany.
even if he killed millions of people, right? He's still a good leader?
Again, since I am outside of Germany, I would say that he is atrocious, right? But again, that's just me outside of Germany. But
Yeah,
I
that's
would
the only
imagine
relevant
people-
fact. The only relevant fact,
Right,
right? Is
yeah,
that
but
you
like-
think what
like-
he did was disgusting? You think he was a bad leader? You think he was not good?
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all.
But,
All that
again,
matters.
no. But Parker, right? We are talking about the people within the country, right? That this particular person is.
Well, no, we're not talking about
right?
that. I don't think that's even relevant to bring up.
It is, because your own country has to be like on board, right? And so like again, like his people did respect him, and he did boost the land up, because up until
None of these are relevant.
This day,
Johan, none of these are relevant.
yes, it is.
No, they're literally not.
Yes,
I was just asking you based
I know.
on your perspective, right? If you think what he did was wrong, even though there was a lot of people that supported what he did, right? And that is not, it's not even relevant at that point. Thank you for the hands, I appreciate it. Like literally not relevant, okay? So you don't need to bring up all this extra stuff what you think, right? I'm just asking, you think it's evil what he did? You think it's bad what he did?
I think
you
it's
that
bad
even
what
though
he
there were a
did,
lot of people that were there and that put him into office, that does not mean what he did was good. And that's the point I'm getting to.
I know, but like I'm saying that there's more than one point of view to look at this from, because again, we see this due to the fact that we know what this person had done to our people, right? But again, if you were a German a man up until this day, you would consider him somewhat of a respectable person, and you can't deny that, right?
So why the fuck are you saying this? Why is this even, and not even to today? No,
because
right, like
right,
why, Johan?
Okay,
why
okay.
is this relevant? Why are you bringing this up? Thank you for that mustache. I appreciate. Give me a fucking reason. I'm
bringing
gonna
this
just go on to
up-
the next person.
Right. So I'm bringing this up for the simple fact that it's the same thing with like Trump, right? People respect Trump.
We're talking about
in
what you
his
think.
own
We're not
land.
talking about what other people think. We're talking about what you think. Okay.
But that would be an unfair thing, because we are having like a debate where we get the overall of what the people think along with my own.
No.
like,
What is the topic?
personal
Tell me what the
thing too,
topic
right?
is. Can you tell me, please?
Why do you support Trump?
Why do
Right,
you support
yes, I
Trump?
get
I'm
it.
not asking.
Yeah,
I'm not
I get
asking
it.
why people
Okay,
in
fine.
Germany supported Mustache
so-
Man, right? I'm asking you
Okay,
why you
fine.
support Trump, right?
Okay. Okay. I support Trump, right? Because I know that people view him as a leader. So I support him because I know that others view him as a leader. There's your answer.
Oh my God, right? Kim Jong-un is known as a leader, right? You support Kim Jong-un.
He's not really respected amongst his people, and I based my opinion on what like his
Thank you, I appreciate that mustache. Wait. So, okay. You respected Hitler. Is that your view?
Of course.
So does that mean that you think he's a
undeniable.
good leader?
Under my view, no, he was not a good.
So just because people like him and people support him does not mean that he's good. Okay, so again, that argument you just used for Trump, invalid.
Again, yeah, right, but yet again, Trump isn't, Hitler, right? I mean, he's not, and so again, we have
No.
to be careful
The reasoning is clear, right? The reasoning just because people support him doesn't mean he's good. Other than it would be saying that Schmittler was good.
Right, and I've seen this comparison a lot actually with Trump, and you guys you seem to put him up against these people, and it's like no, I mean it doesn't even make sense, right? Because I saw somebody comparing Trump to some guy that killed millions of people out there, and again it doesn't make sense.
Johan,
I think it's
you're misunderstanding what I'm comparing, right? I don't know why it's so difficult. Johan, I don't know why it's so difficult for you to understand.
I see it. Yes.
Yeah.
I know,
What am I
it's the
comparing within the analogy? I'm comparing the principle.
Right.
Hold up.
Yes.
I'm comparing the principle and the reasoning that you provided. I'm not saying that Trump has genocided a group of people. That's not what I'm saying. I never made that claim. The idea is that just because people support this individual, it does not mean or entail that you should support them. So I'm asking for an alternative argument that would indicate that this is someone you should support.
Again, there is no alternative argument because, again, it doesn't really contradict what I said to begin with, because there's more values that are underlined there, right? So, again, yeah, I mean, that's my view. I support...
What do you mean more value? So you just told me the reasoning you provided, it does not entail this, right? I'm asking you, why in this circumstance does it entail that you should support Trump?
Well, it entails that I should support Trump for the simple fact that Trump has done a lot for people inside of the European Union and for his own land too. And me seeing this, right, I think that we should discover more of his values, right? And we should not like try to apply certain things to him just because I said a previous statement. So no, I don't think that. I think it underlies like more value. But there's just like.
What did he do for the U.S. and for the EU?
For the U.S., I mean, again, from what I heard, right, there was more jobs out there. The economy seemed to be going up, and also it seemed to me that the people were more engaged in politics too, right? So these things are indicators to me that Trump was somebody that knew exactly what he was doing. And as for outside of the US, I would say that he gave people reassurance outside of the US for the simple fact that his confidence radiated, around the globe, right? Him being like somebody of such a character. So that's my.
Okay, so there's lower unemployment under Biden than there was under Trump, 3.4% under Biden, 3.5% under Trump, so relatively same number of jobs within the economy, if not actually more jobs within this economy because the population is still increasing. Leave that mustache, I appreciate it. Secondly, right, more engagement in politics isn't necessarily it's for a good reason. More engagement in politics was to get Trump out of office. That's why everyone voted for Biden, right? Thank you for that mustache. I appreciate it. So,
like, again,
not for the right reason.
Okay, so but like again, it doesn't matter what reason it was that people were engaged, right? What matters is that he got the entire population, right, engaged, right, which is an important step, right? Because the more people we've got engaged with the politics, the more of a chance we have to solve whatever it is that we have to solve. And it's as simple as that, right?
Yeah, and what we needed to solve here was getting Trump out of office. Once we solved that particular aspect, less people were engaged.
Well,
and again, the entire population,
that's not really true.
Hold up, the entire population wasn't engaged.
Oh my God.
It was more of the population, I do agree with that. But again, to get Trump out of office, that was the main reason why more people were engaged in politics.
Parker, did you hear me out, bro? I said it doesn't matter the
It
reason.
literally does, though. Like,
What
Johan, it
matters-
literally does matter.
Oh, yeah. Not within the context that I've spoken to you about, right? Like,
Why not?
because again, if we are talking about, like, again, we can't base reason off of engagement, right? What truly matters here is that people that were not educated at all were forced to become educated in such a way because they had to be engaged with the politics, right? And that's a plus side for Trump. I haven't seen anybody do that, right? And so again, within that context, it doesn't matter the reasoning. What matters is that it happened. It's as simple as that, right?
It does matter the reasoning. Right?
Here we go
Absolutely
again.
does matter. I agree with the notion that more people are involved with politics now than they were prior, but that is not because things have gotten better. That's because things have gotten worse insofar as people have to respond to this. And I don't think that we should make things worse in order to make people get more engaged with politics. This is actually under a communist notion, not saying you're communist, is called accelerationism. What essentially you're trying to do is you're trying to degrade the system insofar as people realize that their situation is worse off, so now they will get involved in politics. This is like saying that we should limit people's access to healthcare, education, we should limit people's access to basic necessities so that they become more involved in politics to bring them back?
Of course.
What do you mean? But no, that puts us in the same position we were.
No, right. So you're not quite comprehending here, right? Again, so what was the conversation that I had with you a few lives ago, right? Hardships create brilliance, right? And so again, because of the engagement and the hardship that Trump put out there, not even on the economy, but just mentally and just like through sheer just will, right? We could say that this was yet again a plus side for Trump. Absolutely.
I don't see it as a plus side at all. Thank you for the cam. I appreciate this description. Thank you so much. Because
Well, I
all we're
do,
doing here,
'cause I would say that.
listen, Johan, we're going from this position, we're dropping us down to here, and then we're going right back. That's it. It's nothing else.
Well,
And if
that's
anything,
not
right,
quite true.
we have more of a
That's not
risk
quite
of going down and then not getting back up to the position we were at.
Well, but what also could happen is that we could go above and beyond, right? So like that's definitely a possibility too, right? That
Yeah,
could
can you indicate to me any study that would demonstrate the notion that making conditions worse for society then makes conditions better?
I mean, we've seen this in individuals, right? So, like, if we were to apply the same line of thought, right, we could
No,
definitely
no, no, I'm
see this
asking a
happening.
study, right? Because we obviously know that just
Right.
because a
Okay.
part works a
Yeah.
particular way doesn't mean the whole works this way. This would just be a composition fallacy.
A compositional fallacy. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that's like your favorite argument against me. Like, I don't know.
Because you run composition fallacies all the time.
Anyway, like, oh my god, like this has to be your favorite argument against me, bro. Like every
Yeah,
time
this
I
has to
come,
be your
like,
favorite. Your favorite argument is a composition fallacy. So me calling it out, saying that it's a bad
I
reasoning,
predicted it, bro.
is exactly the issue, right?
I literally just predicted it, bro.
No, you said it after.
But no, I had predicted it before time, but the greenery just stopped me from responding that fast. That's the
I bet, dude. Yeah,
Anyway.
it's definitely the Mary Jane for real.
Anyway, but the point that I'm trying to make here is right that I've given you so many green signs to follow Trump, yet you still haven't done so. I think with everything that I've given you right here, I would think that you were sensible enough to see what Trump is. Also, haven't you seen that Trump has like a grandfather type of vibe? Like, I don't know, like, in my point of view, he comforts the youth too. He's very relatable guy, you know, so.
Johan, if bad conditions made people get more involved in politics, how come people in third world countries aren't more involved in politics?
Due to the resources that are limited to them. I mean, it's as simple as that, right?
So the lack of conditions being worse makes them less likely to be involved in politics?
Well, hold on, right? Conditions being worse in a particular way, right? So in terms of psychology and not materialistic, I would say that's what Trump was doing. He was making things, in a bad way for the psychology of everybody around him, including people on socials, right? And so again, I would say that yes, you absolutely need a land that is restless in the mind, that's going to produce better results, right? And Trump definitely did that.
Okay,
So,
how come in countries
sorry.
in which they stone gay people, or they kill gay people for identifying as gay, or they put them in jail, how come their conditions, or how come that people aren't more involved in politics there?
They don't have resources, bro. There you go.
Well, okay, so the idea is that you have to have resources, and then once you have resources, then reducing the standards for people increases quality of life or increases how many
Of
people are
course,
involved.
yep.
Okay, so how
100%,
come
yep.
since the far right push within Poland has happened, right? People haven't become more involved in politics.
Well, I don't know what happened in Poland, so would you like to
Yeah, there's been a lot of people who are far right extremists in Poland taking over particular aspects of the government, and also you could say the same thing exists within France. And in neither of those places did the involvement within politics increase, and that's actually why, especially within France.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Hold on. France?
The margin became slower.
Wait, no, hold on, right? Have you seen France, how involved they are with the riots, bro? Are you saying that that's not political at all? That's one of the
We're
most
talking we're talking
countries out
political involvement in terms of voting, right? And the involvement in terms of voting was historically low this last
Again,
election.
I'm not
Hold on,
talking-
let me
oh
finish.
my
Let me
God,
finish.
bro. You're missing the point.
No, you're missing the point. France's voting was historically significantly lower, and that's why the gap between the far right candidate came closer with that as like the other candidates.
I'm talking about involvement in politics in the sense that people were actively thinking about it, right? Like, it doesn't even have to involve a vote, right? It just has to do with the
You
fact
can't
that
determine
people are
that.
thinking.
That's
Are you
that's
serious?
that's an unfalsifiable
Look at
claim.
the riots
You saying
in
that more
France.
people
Look at
that
the
doesn't-
riots
that
in
doesn't-
France.
that literally doesn't tell us that more people are involved. All that tells us is that riots are going on, right? That's literally all it's saying, okay?
Right,
So the idea
which
here
is
is that
due
the
to-
claim that you're
okay,
making,
so no.
the idea here is that the claim that
You're
you're
wrong.
making, that no, I'm not.
God.
The idea is that the claim that you're making is unfalsifiable, right? You're just saying that riots equals political involvement, right? That's all you're saying.
Oh my god, bro. Again, it has to do with the political statements that is being said within a country for people to even riot, right? It's a fact, right? You can't go up against that at all, right? And so yes, it has to do a lot with politics, and you can determine that with the fact that we've seen these riots going on. That's it. That's all I've told you, and there's no way that you could, move on. So yeah.
Actually, I can, right? So you say conditions are getting worse in France, right? How come the political involvement has decreased?
Again, involvement by vote, right?
Wait.
Involvement
No, but like
by what?
This
by
is
vote,
this is
right?
literally the only way
Who
that
you go
you
again?
could determine it. Decreased.
No, it's not the only way, bro. Oh my god. Again, look
This
at the
literally is the
chaos
only way
and
that
the
you can
mayhem.
determine it.
No. It's not, right? Look at the chaos that the politics have produced in France, and that's one way of seeing it, right? Through a reaction. That's a reaction of the crowd with the politics, right? And so yes, that is we could determine that to be people being involved with the politics. Yes or no, Parker? That's a reaction, right? Yes or no? Please.
But you
And
can't
be
say at
straight.
overall greater rates because you have no evidence of that. Okay,
Oh my
I just
God.
gave you evidence
Oh my God.
that people are less likely to be involved with politics in these last elections. Literally can show you the data table again, right? And you're not accepting it because you just want to fit your own position. This is confirmation bias, Johan. You're
I
just
could
making
say
a claim
that about you
it's
too,
unfalsifiable.
right? I could say
Well,
that about
no,
you.
it's not because I have evidence of it. Okay, I
Yeah,
believe
evidence
things
through
based.
vote, right? Yeah.
Yes, which is the only way that you can determine it, right? In the way that you're referencing it, it's an unfalsifiable assertion because I can't say, oh, I disagree with that. Like, I could point to the U.S. and be like, everyone is involved in politics. Almost every single person is involved with politics, even though,
Parker, you're lagging, bro.
voter turnout has no indication on whether or not people are involved or not involved with politics. And that's an absurd notion to say.
Actually, bro, you lagged as you were talking. I don't know if it was from your point of view or mine, but there was a few seconds in there, about 5, I would say. That
Okay, so
your screen
the only
stopped.
way
Yeah.
the only way to determine how politically involved people are is by using
Okay.
voting records. Okay, is by
I
using
see.
how much
I-
people
and
are
I know
voting,
that, right?
and that is literally
right,
it.
But we could also determine how involved the people are by the reaction that's going on live in France, right? We could say that we could determine it through those means too, right? By seeing the reactions and the damages that have been done to France too, right? The damages that have been done in France, right? I mean, that's one way of confirming it, right? And also check up how many people are out there. Again, it's probably going to be an estimate, but check up the number anyway, right? And so again, that's another way of confirming that, right? So again, we've got all of these things to confirm to us that it's because of political involvement, as the reaction is being produced because of political thought, right? And so again, you can't escape that fact, right?
Yeah, so you're just not understanding my point. What you're saying is not empirically measurable. It's unfalsifiable. Think of that in mustache. I appreciate it. It's a faith claim. You have no evidence of your assertion at all, right? It's literally just, I feel like this is the case. That's it, Johan. That's literally what your position
that's
is.
not a feeling. Again,
It literally is.
you could ask any. Okay, oh my god, Parker, relax, bro. We could ask anybody.
Am I not relaxed right now, Johan?
I don't know.
I
because
feel
you
like I'm
kind of,
pretty relaxed right now.
No, bro, it's because I saw you get a little bit uncomfortable with the way that I was replying. Maybe you can't handle it.
How was I
Anyway,
uncomfortable?
because you let out like a sigh and like you chuckled, like you're like, oh my god, this guy is doing something like to me, you know.
Yeah, that seems
But
pretty
anyway,
relaxed to me.
that's
Me
beside.
chuckling, that seems pretty relaxed to me.
Anyway, no, bro, like again. So I've proved it to you how these factors could go into determining something, right? Also, let's forget that, as I've already given you proof for such things, right? Through my own logical thought, right? Also, I've given you proof, facts about Trump, right? That he will try above everybody else right now, right? Because we don't have good people in office at all from either side, right? So Trump is the only golden boy right now, or golden old man, right? Let's just say that. So like he's the perfect standard right now for the United States. There's no way around that. That's it. So yeah.
Johan, all you just said there was I like Trump. That's literally unironically all you just said.
Oh my
So
god.
do you want to give
are
me
you
particular?
hearing me, bro?
Yeah, I
Oh
am
my
hearing
god.
you. I listened to everything you said. Can you give me particular indicating factors that show us this, that can be empirically measured? Because the claims that you're using to say that Trump is better off are things that are unfalsifiable and not empirically measurable. Like you saying that there's more people involved within France, right, at this particular time because of riots, right, doesn't tell us anything, because when we look at the voter turnout, it's actually less now than what it was prior, and that's why
Oh my god. Again,
the
with the
difference
votes,
between
bro.
the prime ministers, like the prime minister
Right.
race in France, got a lot closer with the far right
Maybe.
candidate
Okay.
and
Okay.
the
Okay.
prime
So
minister that was originally in office.
actually wait. Actually wait. I've got something for you right here. It's called Google. Let's search something up here.
Go ahead, bro. You can search up anything on Google you like. I'd love to see any source. Oh, by the way, these aren't pants, everyone. It's a blanket. It's the blanket at AJ's house. But yeah, everyone, in the meantime, while he's looking that up, everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Dalton, I appreciate the hand heart. Thank you so much. By the way, everyone, we got about 2 more hours in the live. We've been on for about 4 hours here today so far. If you do like this type of content, follow me if you haven't already, everyone. I do this topic and a bunch of other ones all the time. People in the chat. Yo, y'all need to chill in the chat. Parker got a blanket. That's gonna be my new Parker get a blanket is gonna be my new
Okay, trying to find a source here. Yeah, so the fact that people distrust, right? Okay, so I'm gonna read you this little piece. I don't want to accept the cookies of this site. Hold on.
You don't want to accept. Is there something wrong with accepting the cookies?
I don't know. I just get very paranoid when it comes to accepting like the cookies. Anyway, so France distrust of politics back on the rise after COVID hiatus. So again, so is that not a way to verify the fact that people are involved with politics if they distrust the policies of France right now as we speak after the COVID hiatus? Like would
No,
that
actually,
be-
because there are lots of people that distrust. Yeah, no, here, listen, Johan. There are lots of people that distrust the current political system here in the United States and actually are not politically involved because of that notion. Many people will argue that you shouldn't vote because they distrust the system. So the idea that there's just distrust does not necessarily indicate to me that they are
Well,
more or
again-
less politically involved. If anything, it could
Right.
indicate to us that they're less politically involved. Right?
Right, but it could also indicate to us that they're more, again, they are involved in it more due to the fact that they're thinking about it more, and that has created the distrust, right? Because they've been thinking about it. So therefore, in a way, they are more involved with the politics, and thus the riots have commenced. There you go. You can't say anything against
I
that.
literally can, dude. That is conjecture, dude. You're just feeling
Are you
like it.
serious?
There's actually no reason to hold that position
Are
at
you
all.
serious?
There's nothing indicating that towards truth. Yes, I'm serious, Johan. Right? What you've said is complete bullshit. Like, let's be totally honest here, Johan. That's a complete whip out of your ass claim, right? Because you feel like people are more politically involved and you have no evidence to support that notion. That is.
I've got a source right here.
Johan,
I've got a source right here.
For what? For what?
for distrust,
not political
in the
involvement. That's distrust. That has nothing to do with political involvement. I just explained
But
to you there
that
are many
leads to
people.
political
Stop talking. Stop
involvement,
talking.
right?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It actually would go against political involvement in many different scenarios because many people will literally be, since they're disenfranchised because they distrust the government, don't engage in voting. Right? Many people are like that. So again, the idea here that just because people distrust the government does not indicate to me at all of whether or not it is increasing the political involvement. The best way to look at political involvement is to look at voter turnout. That's the literally like the
That's
only
a really
empirically
bad way.
No, it's not.
That's
It's
a
the
really
only
bad way to
empirically
look at it.
measurable way to actually demonstrate how politically involved people are.
I will not be accepting that at all because like that's just.
Well, then you're just
complete
irrational, Johan. I'm actually serious. That's an
No,
irrational
I'm,
position.
I'm not. I'm not. Again, there's more than one way to see if the people are politically involved, right? And it has again, it's broader like than just voting, right? Like it's much broader than that, right? And for you to sit down here and say, "Oh, we can only see this through the votes," that's just pure and utterly childish. There's no way that you could get out of that now, bro. You've got to get out of this whole woke system that you've got going on because of the left, man. I'm telling you, that's destroying you, bro.
You mean using empirical evidence? Yeah, let me turn away from empirical evidence and stop being woke.
That's destroying
right?
you,
Stats
bro.
are woke. Stats are woke. Be scared of stats.
No, it's just that again, you are using one form of stats that doesn't even truly indicate to you anything. It just means that people are just less interested in voting, but they might be interested in the politics. Again, one could riot, one could vote, one could go on Twitter, and so on. It's as simple as that. And again, I've told you this 20 different times and you still don't seem to grasp it. What's wrong with you, Parker? Bro, stop.
Yeah, no, don't gaslight me, Johan. You have no clue what your position is. You are completely lost. It might be the greenery. It might be the Mary Jane or something like that. Thank you for the Hydra Sun. I appreciate it.
Oh my God.
Because I can turn the same shit around by you, dude. I
Bro,
can sit there
listen, bro,
and I
I
can
should
be
have
like,
said-
oh, your
Oh my
character
God.
just isn't able to determine this right now. I'm actually giving you reasons to justify this. I'm giving you actual indicating factors in which point towards something. Thank you for the elephant trunk. I appreciate it. I gave you reasons as to why the particular points you brought up don't necessarily indicate that. And you failed
And
to
I've
respond to
given
what I'm
you
saying.
why-
Stop
no,
talking.
no, again-
You failed to respond to what I've talked about there. So if you actually want to engage with the point I'm making, rather than just to like to
I've
try and act like
engaged in it.
I'm no, rather than just try to say like, oh, the data's woke, trust the feelings, right? Like, come on, bro.
No, it's just like I said that we could clearly view like how people will be involved, right, by their reactions to things in different mediums, right? Again, and again, we could definitely see this. It's not just a voting thing, right? It's just like again, that's just a very narrow way of looking at things. Yes, maybe your source might be a little bit more accurate, but the fact of
thank
the
you, I appreciate it.
matter is, but the fact of the matter is that we could easily look at other things, like again on socials or on the news, right? We could see the riots, the tweets, and so on, and we could also pick data based off of that the people are in fact involved in politics, and it goes much broader than the voting, right? Again, I've got a friend of mine, right, that has never been into politics at all, and the time that he actually did go into politics and that he involved himself in it was when Trump was there. What a surprise, right? So again, he was involved in some type of way because he was tweeting and he was giving his personal opinion out there. And again, this was a man that was never into politics to begin with. So again, it furthers my point. And if we were to assume that there's more people out there just like him too, again, based off of the data too, right? Again, on socials too, on Instagram, on Twitter, and so on, we could see that more people are much more engaged with the politics now on these platforms than they were, say, 10 years ago. That's something that we could actually take a look at. And there's nothing that, again, that you could say against that. Because votes, yes, again, it might be a very accurate thing, yes, and I understand you. It's not that I don't understand that, right? But the fact of the truth is, right, that we need to look at how involved people are based off of like how much they talk about things in a particular way. So again, it goes much broader than just again votes, right? So that's just how it would be, right? Anyway, chat, don't hate on me because again, you guys are very closed-minded in the sense that you've gone on Twitter and you've seen something right there and it's transformed you, which further proves my point, right? You all right now, you're all involved.
All right, okay, I'm back. Sorry, I was talking to AJ because we're setting up.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to a bar or something later. But yeah. So like, I wrote down what you said because I had a response and then he just joined in. So like the Twitter thing that you said, right? You'd have to give me evidence to say that proportionally speaking, there are more people engaged with politics on Twitter now, comparative to like the average person engaging with Twitter more. So that would be able to demonstrate that on a social media standpoint. That's something that I might actually take into account or is empirically measurable. The other characteristics you gave me are not empirically measurable, like someone just engaging in a riot, right? Because when we relate to a riot, we don't know the amount of people that are the riot. We don't know how engaged someone is at the riot. We don't know how many other people would have gone or might have gone. There's so many other factors you can't take into account, whereas something like social media, we might be able to take into account if that's the case, right? So all I'm asking you for is something empirically measurable that can demonstrate to us that there are more people engaged with politics, particularly within France, in that time period, comparative to prior, right? And I'm saying the best indicating factor, which you agreed with, you said was the most accurate one, you said mine was more accurate, was the voter turnout, right? So if you already agree with me that it's more accurate, you agree that my position is the most likely to be true, right? Therefore, should be the one that you accept. Why would you accept a position that's less likely to be true or to be less accurate? That makes no sense, Johan. And you and then you went on to appeal to anecdotal evidence. These are standards in which are less likely to be true than what I just referenced.
Anyway, I'm gonna read you an article here. Social media use has grown rapidly over the last decade. Today, Americans use a range of social media sites and increasingly turning these platforms into news and information. Social networking sites have also emerged as a key for political debate and discussion. Times a place in bigger occasional related activities. One of the most prominent recent social media. Me Too movement.
Yeah, so did you hear my point? Because I feel like that was the killer there. Like, why would you support an explanation in which is less likely to be true? Right? That is just like, that is the most irrational thing you could have done, Johan. You conceded to the idea that mine was more accurate than yours. That's like conceding your entire position. I don't think you understand that.
No, it's not, because I said from the start that it goes much broader than just the votes, right? So, like, again, we are seeing this.
Sure, it can go much broader, but you said mine's more accurate.
Right.
That's all I needed to hear.
Right, accurate, yeah, and so what does that prove exactly? Like,
what does accurate mean? Johan, tell me, what does accurate means? It means...
It means, right. So I'm going to tell you what it truly means.
You're like closer to the bullseye, right? Is that what more accurate means?
No. Hold on, right? It means that people don't want to play the little voting game anymore. That's what it means, truly, which has nothing to do with political involvement, right? And so,
Johan, you just made my point. Thank you. That was literally the point I just made earlier that you were trying to dispute. That was the exact thing that I said. Chad, does anyone remember what that is?
Anyway, bro, I've had a good time. Take care, bro.
All right, love you, Johan. See you later, man.
Okay, love you too, man. Anyway, bye.
Was he trolling today? I feel like he was trolling today, Chad. I feel like he was trolling. I feel like he was trolling. Love it though. All right, we're gonna go on to the next person. If you disagree, make sure to send a guest request right now. If you support Trump, Only make sure to send a guest request. If you want to see some debates, everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, man. 1 million likes, y'all. 1 million likes.
I'm 31. I'll be 32 next weekend.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Why so?
Can I ask you a question? You've asked me to. Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Do you support Trump?
No.
Can I ask you why?
Yeah. So first off, we could relate to the fact that he lies about election fraud, right? Says that there's election fraud when there's absolutely no evidence of that being the case. We've gone through many different audits showing us that there's absolutely nothing on their side for saying that there was enough fraud to overturn the election, right? Because there's fraud in every single election that exists, right? But there was actually less fraud in this election comparative to others, and I can cite many claims for that if you would like. But we could relate to the tax policy. 83% of the taxes went to the top 1% particularly. We could relate to immigration. He was for building up a wall at the border, and there was fundamentally no reason to do that, as the best way to actually reduce the amount of people who are trying to come into the country undocumented is actually make... Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if I can interrupt. I was just going to ask if I can interrupt for a second. Did you know that 80% of fentanyl comes from the cartel in Mexico?
Yeah, so I was going to go on to say that actually having these particular situations where we actually make it harder for people to get into the country legally actually helps fund the cartels have the ability to do this. And secondly, being for the drugs being illegal like Trump is also funds these cartels because their money, right, comes from the drugs that they sell across the American border, right, and that we pay for, and then all that money goes into their economy, right? So the person that you're supporting isn't actually going to limit the amount of fentanyl coming to the country or limit the amount of people who are overdosing on fentanyl because they're laced in their drugs, right? He's actually going to be supporting of policies that are going to make it more likely to happen. And the same thing would also be for Biden as well.
So it doesn't necessarily blow your mind that China is the creator of fentanyl and that 80% of the distribution that comes into the U.S. is from the cartels in Mexico, and every other country besides Mexico, Canada, other countries make it. I mean, you can't even go to Canada if you have a felony, and you could have one DUI. You messed up one time. You were 18 years old. You got a DUI, and you can't even go into Canada. But making it hard for people to come from Mexico into the U.S. is a huge deal. It's racist. It's out of control. It's just bad. It's bad. It's bad on the U.S.
Did this guy hear a single word that I said? What did that relate to anything I had to say?
I'm listening to you, but why is it a big deal to make our border from Mexico to the U.S. more secure?
So it's a big deal because First of all, it actually increases the likelihood of these cartels existing, right? Because they make more money predicated off of the idea that it's illegal and that people need some sort of transport or passage through the border that is not legal. Okay, but you understand that your process is actually leading to that to be more likely to occur.
But if the border is more secure, how are they going to get into the U.S.? If the border is more secure, how are they going to get into the U.S.? You realize right now the border is basically open. There is no wall. They just come in through the U.S., into the U.S. They just walk in. The wall is basically non-existent. And you realize
they have a fence everywhere, so you're just lying there, right? Secondly, right?
You should do some research on it because
I literally have done research on it. They also have drones that they have there, particularly make sure people are coming through. They have trip mines to make sure that people they know when people are crossing and stuff like that. Most of the people that you're trying to limit coming through that way aren't actually going to be coming through for processes to stay there, right? That's going to be for drug operations, stuff like that, right? The people who come into the country that want to stay here, right? Who come here undocumented, most of them actually fly here and overstay the visa. You know that, right?
Which is illegal, right? To overstay your visa, it's illegal.
Yes, I understand that, right? But that is not even through. Wait, hold on.
The actual border isn't fully secure. You realize
that is not even through the border in the first place.
But you realize
so if you're against undocumented immigration, you would put harsher. Can you let me finish, please?
Yeah,
you would put harsher and stricter regulations on people that have visas rather than relating to the border wall in the first place if you actually cared about undocumented immigration. But you don't care about undocumented immigration. You only care about this type of idea, psychological impact of putting a border between one wall or one country and the other, in which we are not doing with any other type of nation, in which we don't do with any other type of immigrant.
Yeah, because nobody's trying to flee to Canada. Canada doesn't have that problem like we have when we're connected to Mexico. And like I said, if you actually did your research, you would look and see that the US and Mexico border is not a fence all the way through. That thing is wide open. And the border has actually been told to hold back their security and not arrest people coming across the border. Do you realize how many people come across that border every day? Like, do you want these, maybe not all of them, maybe not all of them, maybe some are looking for a good life. They want to, make a better future for themselves. And I'm okay with that. Like, I totally understand that, but you need to do it legally. Sneaking into the country, staying past your work visa or your whatever visa, like, it's illegal to do. It is against the law. Like, I don't want like drugs coming into my town. Like, I don't want fucking people dying left and right that are close to me because they're addicted to a drug that is coming from China to Mexico and being brought across from Mexico.
Okay, so I will take back the idea that there are fences everywhere. So there's actually only 1/3 of it that has fences. But that number can be misleading. There are like 354 miles of pedestrian barrier. On like a 1900 and something long.
There's a guy on
border
YouTube.
wall. So I will take it back on that.
Well, there's a guy on YouTube.
Can I finish?
Yeah, I was just going to give you a quick thing that I think you find really interesting to check out. It's, I'm not trying to argue or anything, but he's on YouTube and he goes and hangs out. I think it's in Arizona with a sheriff that runs part of the border. I mean, it's not Border Patrol, obviously, but he's really close to the border of Mexico. And it gives a really good idea, an example of how the lack of security is on the border. And it's pretty sad. It's really sad, actually. And like I said, if you have a felony, which a felony can be an extremely low, something stupid that you did as a small child, and you can't even go into Canada. But our borders are just, come on in. Just, free game. It's sad, man. It's really sad.
They're really not. You understand that there are more things than just the fence that are meant to limit the amount of people that go through the border that way, right? There are literally drones. There's literally pressure plates. There are many things that they use to be able to see if people are coming through the border. But at the end of the day, right? If you want to limit the amount of people, can I finish a claim, my guy? I want to be able to have a conversation with you, but I've let you speak and you've cut me off, and
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so if you actually want to limit the amount of people who are coming into the country undocumented, you would be way more inclined to relate to particular things like the visa regulations, right? But you have not cared about the visa regulations, okay? I want you to address that point, and then we'll talk about drugs, okay?
Okay. What about the visa regulation? What qualifies you to be able to come into the U.S.?
No. Like how much that you have to engage with people to make sure that people can't overstay visas. Why don't you ever argue about that? That's my question. Why is that never brought up? Why do we always talk about the border wall? Why is that something that's a big deal? Why doesn't he talk about visa?
Why should I have to? Because if you come into the country legally, it's different than
this is illegal. This is illegal if you overstay the visa. Larger restrictions on people who are overstaying the visas and making sure it's harder for people to overstay the visa. No one ever brings it up, and that's most of the people who come into the country undocumented. So why do we need specifically a border wall when this is the more likely way for people to come into the country undocumented?
Do your research and look at the amount of people that come into the country illegally versus the amount of people that come in on actual visas.
I don't know why that responds to me at all. I'm talking about people who overstay the visas.
Because the amount of people that come in on visas that overstay their visa is going to be way less than the amount of people that come into this country illegally, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, because that's a portion of people who come into the country, and it is actually you weren't listening to me, right?
Yeah.
I most people who come into the country undocumented, right? I'm talking or if you want to say illegal, right? Most people who are considered illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, that's the best way to say it, right? Is going to be people that fly to the country, have a visa, and overstay that visa. You aren't talking about restrictions that are meant to limit people from being able to overstay the visas, and instead you're only talking about people who are coming across the border particularly. So why is there such a hyperfixation on people who are coming across the particular border when in reality most people who are here undocumented are literally here by overstaying the visas. There's no talk about visa regulations.
The reason why is because the problem is how open the border is. You got to stop that problem first. You can't worry about the people that actually came in to the country legally. Yeah, they overstayed their visa, but guess what? They came in legally and overstayed their visa, which makes them illegal. Are you going to worry about the people that came across legally, or are you going to worry about people sneaking across illegally? What's going to be the first one to solve? We're going to.
Hey man, I've asked you a very specific question here, and I feel like you haven't listened multiple times after asking it.
Did I not?
You didn't answer it.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
You said, why don't people talk about it? You said, why don't people talk about people overstaying their visas? And I said,
yeah, and you're not talking about the regulations that relate to whether or not someone can overstay a visa or how much you have to engage with people any talk about that. And instead it talks about the border. And all you told me was that there was just like an open border or something like that. And that's something you took at. Okay, we can look at that, right? But if your fundamental goal here, the goal of why you're saying this is to limit undocumented immigration, then why wouldn't the fixation be on what's most prevalent in terms of undocumented immigration?
Do you have facts that it's most prevalent?
Yes, I can send you to you right now.
I would love it. I would appreciate it. Like I said, I think the biggest issue, like I said, you got these people are coming to the country. I mean, what are the what would you call it? The qualifications is that what you called it? I might have misheard that. Of what's allowing people to stay and not stay with their work visas.
Yeah, no one talks about the conversation about like how much you'd have to engage with like say a particular government official in order to have a visa, right? Or like if you are overstaying it, like what are the implications of that? Like engaging in with that type of conversation, and instead people hyperfixate about the border like what you've just done, right? But again, I can give you stuff from the Pew Research Center right here, right? That most of the people who come into the country undocumented, right, are going to be through what's overstaying the visas. Right?
Oh yeah, no,
I can send you stuff from many other sources that indicate the exact same thing. This is not something that I'm just saying. This is a well-known fact, right? And no one talks about that. So again, my question still stands. Why would you bring up the border wall particularly when your whole goal is to limit undocumented immigration?
The whole goal is to stop people coming into the country illegally. You're talking about people that came into the country legally and then overstayed their work visa or whatever visa they had, right? Is what you're getting at. Why aren't we talking about...
Which is coming in illegally.
Once you get past that point, yeah, you were in the country illegally. Once you stayed past your visa, yes, you are illegally in the country. But we're talking about how many thousands of people cross the border each day coming into this country illegally versus the amount of people who get a 6-month, I don't know how long visas last for, but we'll say a 6-month visa or a 1-year work visa to come into the US. Yeah, they're probably going to overstay that. But are we going to focus on the problem of the border being open and thousands of people coming across that border illegally? Or are we going to focus on the people that are actually going through the process to get a visa and then come into the country? Because those people are trying to actually do it right. They may stay past their point. I get that, and I get what you're saying. But the problem is that we got to focus on getting the border secure so people aren't just freely flooding into this country, is what I'm getting at. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, because you're not listening to me. Okay?
I literally...
Right? No, you didn't, right? And I will show you how you didn't, okay? Because the whole goal is illegal immigration, right? Most people who come into the country are coming into the country by overstaying the visa. So if you care about stopping undocumented immigration, you are going to stop it in both scenarios. But you would put most focus on stopping it when it relates to the overstaying of visas. But you are putting less emphasis on the overstaying of visas, even though it makes up a majority of the cases. Is this not clear? This is like so basic.
I disagree that it makes up most of the cases. I think if you look at...
I literally have sources for you. I just told you that I have sources. You disagree with facts, right?
You're telling me that the immigrants that come into the country...
Majority of undocumented immigrants in the country are literally people who have come to the country by flying on a plane, staying with a visa, and overstaying the visa.
but they went through the work, right? They went and did it legally, right? Now, does that number of people that came into the country that went through the process and did it legally, does that number overrule the amount of people that are coming into the country illegally?
Does it obviously there's more people who are coming and staying on visas than there would be people who are undocumented
No,
immigrants in the country.
I'm asking.
That's so unrelated to the point that I'm making that it literally makes me think either you don't understand the point that I'm making,
you're not
or you didn't listen to the point that I'm making.
No,
like I've given it to you multiple times at this point. Let me know if there's anything that's unclear so that I can clarify it.
Here would agree that I've definitely answered your question. Like I said, we're talking about people that come into the country legally and overstay their work visa, but we don't talk about them. We only talk about the people that are coming in illegally, which I'm saying that the number of people that come into this country illegally is far more significant than the people that overstay their work visas.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that makes up a part of the people who are here illegally. Right?
So
it makes up the vast majority of the people who are here illegally.
It does.
Like, let me give you an example, right? Let me give you. Can I give you an example, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of white people have brown hair, right? But not all white people have brown hair, right?
Hey, you know what? We all bleed the same blood, brother.
What?
We all bleed the same blood.
What does that mean?
Well, what is white people with blonde and brown?
I'm trying to clarify to you that a part of white people have brown hair. So obviously speaking, right, there would be less people who have brown hair who are white comparative to all of white people, right? Because it's a part of people who are white. I'm using it as an analogy so that you can understand me. Like, it had nothing to do with anything bad about being white or anything. I'm literally white.
So no, I know you are.
So I don't know what the fuck you're saying, bro.
Because listen, are you saying that we should focus more on the people overstaying their work visas versus the border? Because that's what it sounds like.
Yes, because there are more people. That makes a vast majority of the people who are here undocumented. Okay? So you should care, like, under your position, if your goal is that, you would care about both of them, right? But you would prioritize the overstaying of visas more than the border wall. But the issue is that people on your side, and you included, have only cared and prioritized the border wall and never ever talk about the overstaying of visas. That is the fundamental issue here. So there is a fundamental reason as to why, hold up, let me finish. There is a fundamental reason as to why they are hyper fixating on putting a border wall between Mexico and the United States. My explanation for that is because of, it's going to be because of bigotry, it's because of racism, it's going to be because psychologically speaking, it creates like a sense of inferiority, right, amongst people who are already existing in these types of countries, right? I think that is absolutely a huge underpinning and explanation of that, right? That is my opinion when it relates to that, though.
Yeah, for sure. I respect your opinion. It's definitely not racist at all. It's far from racist. Wanting to make our border more secure, so drugs and people who are rapists or whatever.
You have to say R word or essay.
Huh? What?
You have to say R word or essay. That word is banned. It's TikTok TOS, right? That's why we have to say words like unalive rather than KILL, right? It's just there are particular words that we have to say.
But all I'm saying, and I'm not saying because it's not just immigrants from Mexico that come to the U.S. from Mexico. There's multiple different countries that come in through the U.S. from Mexico, right? But why would the main focus be on finding the people that overstay their work visa versus the vast majority of people coming in every day illegally? Yeah, the population's building, but if you look at it this
way, have
you
not been listening to me? I literally, the whole point I made on this was that a vast majority of the people who are coming to the country undocumented are overstaying the visa. So why do you keep making the point that you have no evidence for that most of the people coming to the country are coming through the border? Because it's fundamentally that's wrong, right? You're factually wrong.
It's not.
I can give you evidence. I literally have told you I have multiple sources for this. Give me one source.
I don't have to give you a source, dude. You
just feel like it. You have your feelings, right? But the facts preside over your feelings. I don't know why people on the right always act like they're on the side of the facts, but whenever you ask them for any type of source or evidence for their fucking claims, right? It's always just, I don't fucking know. It's my feelings, right? I don't have to give you a source.
So you're telling me the number of people that come into the country every day with visas is more than the amount of people that come across the border illegally, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. That there would be more people that come with visas. Yeah, thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate it.
You think, yeah.
And also, there'd be more people in the country who have visas as well.
No,
Because it's not about people who come into the country always that would have visas, because there would already be people that are in the country in which would then, hold up, there would already be people in the country in which overstay the visa, in which already had the visa prior and already were in the country, right? But they overstay it and then they're considered undocumented at that point.
Okay, so what about all the ones that come in illegally, get social security cards that are all fake, right? And then now, I mean, you'll never find
Social
them.
security numbers? Oh
Yeah.
my God. You said social security guard.
Yeah, I have a social security card. It says it right on it.
Oh, I thought you said guard, not card.
No, card. Yeah, I have one. No, like I said, and once they get those, as long as they keep their nose clean, I mean, they're never going to be caught for anything. They can open up bank accounts, they can get jobs, they can do whatever they want. Like I said, man, I don't care about people coming to this country as long as they do it legally. Yeah, there's going to be people that overstay their work visa, and guess what? There's going to be people who actually obey the law and want to be here for an actual reason. But the number of people that come into this country per day illegally, whether it's Mexicans or whatever country, whatever you want to call it, that number is still far more superior than the amount of people that come into this country with a work visa every day. We're talking thousands of people.
Yeah. You have your feeling. Can you give me a source?
It's not a feeling. It's on the news every day.
Give me a source.
Go look at Fox. Go look at CNN.
Go give me a source. Go give me a source. Give me a specific source for that claim that you made. I don't care about any news articles. I don't like mainstream media. Mainstream media, a lot of the times, is fucking bullshit. They'll give you a story that doesn't give you all the information, right? It's meant to give you a particular idea of what happened, right? So yeah, I what the fuck, dude? Give me a source, bro. Yeah. But everyone, tap the screen if you like the content. Follow me if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes, everyone. But by the way, everyone, we are at that point at the last hour of the live. This isn't like stopping people from being able to say stuff in the chat, but I am turning on sub-only chat right now because it is like the last hour of my live. I do appreciate everyone coming on so far, everyone. Thank y'all so much. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 100,000 or to 1 million likes, everyone. It is goob only chat time. Goob only chat time. Apologize to everyone else. We keep literally like the first 5 hours of my live open, everyone. I didn't do Goob chat yesterday, right? So I feel really bad. I feel really, really bad. But we normally do it every day. Yo, what's up?
I just gotta figure out how to send this. I've never.
Oh no, just tell me the title. By the way, when you're paused, I can't hear you. But yeah, tap that screen, everyone. You forgot about us? No, I got bananaed. Thank you for the hand tower. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the little crown as well. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm not muted. I think that I think you should do more research on like what actually goes on the border as far as illegal immigrants go and the people that.
Sure. Can you give me a source? Thank you for the paper crane. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carlo. I appreciate the subscription as well. Department, thank you as well.
Tell you a source.
So he's telling me I need to do research but can't provide me a source right now. That's like ironic. Thank you, Carlo. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Absolute W's, Carlo. I appreciate it. Angel, thank you for the subscription. Nani, I appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you so much. Angel, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Department as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lexi, thank you for the hat and mustache. Did you find your source, bro? Huh? I'm not talking to you. Did you find your source, bro?
I literally said it to you 3 times and you just kept ignoring me, so.
You said it to me? What? I didn't hear you. You didn't say anything. When you're okay, thank you for the garland. I appreciate it. Thank you for the superpower. I appreciate it. When you're off the app, I can't hear you. You're paused. You're muted.
There you
I
go.
can't
Can
hear
you hear me now? I said
yes, I can hear you now.
The PEW Research Center.
Pew Research. What is the title of the Pew Research? I guarantee Pew
What's
Research did
happening
not. I literally I sourced Pew Research. He gave me the same source, right? That
What's
literally
happening?
confirms my claim, dude. I literally sourced Pew Research earlier, dude.
It literally is talking to. Okay, we'll look it up. Hold on, give me a second, Ladybug.
I literally does everyone remember that? I sourced Pew Research earlier, right? That's the one I'm on.
You can source it all you want, but what I just came across means nothing.
Wait. How does he use the same source that I used to try to say that I'm wrong, dude? I can't do it. I can't make it up, dude.
No, he can't make it up because how did I know he was using that same source? Weird.
Maybe because I said it, bro.
When?
I literally earlier in this conversation I said Pew Research. That's why people in the chat are literally saying.
I did not hear you say Pew Research, but
I literally said Pew Research earlier. Yes. So you gave me the same source that I used to say that this is that there are more people that come into the country. The most people who come into the country that are undocumented are people that overstay the visa. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it.
You gonna look at it or no?
Yeah. What's the title of yours? Because that's literally the same place as me, dude.
What's happening at the U.S.-Mexico border?
Thank you for that ad mustache. I appreciate it.
What's happening at the U.S.-Mexico border in 7 charts?
Wait. Sorry. Say that one more time.
What's happening at the U.S.-Mexico border in 7 charts?
In 7 charts?
Yeah.
What 7 charts? Huh?
Bro, you said you wanted a title, and I gave you a title.
Oh, so okay, that's the title. What's happening? In what?
The U.S.-Mexico border in 7 charts.
Border in 7 charts. Okay. Yeah, and where does it say here? Well, where does it make your claim? Because I can show you on the same thing in Pew Research that there are more people. Where does it make your? By the way, I can't hear you when you're paused.
No, I know. I was just reading across it.
No, it's fine. Go. No, look for. I'll give you your time. Don't worry. I was just gonna pull up the claim. This is literally talking about overstays. So, vast majority of whom are overstays. Okay, appreciate it. It literally says on Pew Research, vast majority are overstays. So. Key facts about the changing U.S. unauthorized immigrant population. That's the title of the Pew Research thing. And it's under number... It's under number 4. And it goes over from 2007 to 2017.
I'm not ignoring you either. I'm just reading.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's under number 4 for that one. But like it's literally like, dude, I'm sorry, man, but like that it is kind of ironic that you literally use the same source that I used. It's kind of funny.
Literally typed it in on Google and it popped.
I know, because Pew Research is like one of the most accredited ones. It's a really good source. Thank you, Maura. I appreciate the 9-month. Oh my gosh, Maura, I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Good to see you. But yo, everyone, how do y'all like the Arkansas shirt? I just got this today because I'm in Arkansas with AJ. W shirt. Let's go. I feel like every single time I go to a new place, that's what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get this particular type of shirt. I don't know what. Hold up, let me check what. Is it like? It's called League. I love these types of shirts. These things are like so comfortable, chat. I like if I'm gonna make merch, it's gonna be out of the exact same material. Cause these things are like the best, right? I would wear all shirts like this. Honestly, these are amazing. But I want one with like all the different places I go to. Arkansas, yeah. This is just I have one from Iowa because I went to Iowa because I grew up in Iowa. But
all right, I'm back. So no, but I will gladly agree with you that more than illegally. I'll admit that. But like I said, all it narrows me back to is I understand what you're saying, like why we're not. Wait,
Evilush, actually that wasn't the claim that I was making there. That was a different claim that you then asked me later on. What I'm saying is that the vast majority of people who are here undocumented are here by overstaying visas.
No, and I understand that, and I get what you're saying. And like I said, our main source of stopping people from coming here can either be focusing on trying to get illegals out of the country that came here legally, or to close the border up and stop there first, which in my opinion
if you're well, I mean, I don't know what they're called in Mexico. I don't know if they're called felons or, whatever, but there's obviously the stuff that goes down in Mexico or whatever country these people come from, like I said, they're not all good people. And there's a reason, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are coming in illegally that really do just want a better life for themselves. And I get that and I respect that and I understand that. But there is still a vast majority of people that come into this country illegally for a reason, because they won't get through on a visa. They won't get into the country without sneaking into it. So where does the problem start? Does it start by...
Why won't they? Why won't they? Because it takes 7 to 10 years to get here, right? It takes so long to get through the process. It takes sometimes thousands of dollars.
It takes 7 years to get through the process?
That is what I've seen. Average was 7 to 10 years. That's what I saw.
I mean, I could ask my coworker. He's literally on a visa right now, and he just renewed his visa. My coworker.
I'm talking about full immigration status.
I mean, he doesn't even have full immigration. He's just here on a visa, but he still stays up with it.
Did he get through his employer?
Yeah, he works for us.
So
did he get through from his employer? No, he just started working with us a few months ago, and he was in California.
Did he get originally through his employer on visa?
No, he came across.
Or fiance visa?
No, his wife's from Mexico too.
Okay, so he went through the normal process. How long did it take him? Do you know?
Like I said, I'd have to ask him. I have never asked him that question. I've never asked him.
18 months is what Mara is saying. Is that for visas? But visas don't grant full immigration status, right? So yeah, are you just trying to say that because they don't go through the legal process, that indicates that there are other bad things about them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why? Okay, not okay. Not necessarily all of them. Like I said that I think there's a lot of people that mean good, that want to come into the country, they want to be here, they want to have a better life.
Why don't we say most people? Are you comfortable saying that most people who are coming through the border, are coming for a better life?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So understanding that most people are coming for a better life, why do we then treat policy this way? Why don't we make it easier for people to immigrate into the United States who genuinely want to make their lives better off? Obviously, we have criminal background checks, and obviously we have vaccination checks. Other than that, I don't see what reason you would give me to limit people coming into the United States.
Why can't
other than limiting population growth?
Why can't I? I was a bad person when I was younger, but how come I can't, move to Canada? Maybe I want a better life in Canada. How come I can't go there?
You can, right? If Canada wants to, Canada should, if they think it's beneficial for the country, they should decrease immigration standards as well for people who want to come from the United States or something. That would be maybe beneficial for their economy. But people coming from the United States would probably be able to do very well in Canada.
But they don't, and nobody's complaining about that at all. Do you hear anybody?
I would say that economically speaking, they're holding themselves back. I think specifically there's differences here in the United States and Canada, because the American going to Canada wouldn't be an issue that would be specifically tied to bigotry, right? We're talking about obviously speaking, there's bigotry from the United States towards Mexico and towards Central American countries, right? That is obviously relevant in terms of why people in the United States want to limit immigration.
Well, I mean, you don't think it has anything to do with how significant overpopulation?
Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it.
There's so many factors going to it. Like I said, you look at any other country and you try to go in there and sneak in or do whatever. That shit doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not supposed to cuss, right?
No, you can cuss, just not the particular words I said.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it, JoJo. Thank you so much for the subscription.
But like I said, man, if you look at all these other countries, they don't let that shit fly in their country. Like I said, I'm not saying all people. I will say there's a lot of people that want to come into the U.S., that want to do good. They want to build their family up. They want to have a good life in America because America's a great country. But there is still going to be a ton of people that are coming in that lived horrendous lives of whatever you want to call, killing people or running drugs or whatever, that are coming to the country.
And under the system I just talked about, we're also taking that into account. Liz, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There are those people, right? And we're doing those criminal background checks. But
yeah, but if you're coming into the country illegally, there's no background check.
Yes, and that's why you want to incentivize people to come here legally, because that would make it a lot faster, right?
Did Trump
I
literally?
mean, if we make it a lot faster, it would
say that?
incentivize. Here, let me clarify.
So
I mean, if we made the process a lot faster, it would incentivize people to come here legally more. That's the idea that we're talking about.
So why is the process not faster? Why do you think the process?
Exactly, right? Because there's not enough funding for us to be able to take into account these many orders to come into the country that quickly, right? But we absolutely can set this up. This is policy, right? It's not about the ability or the technology, right? It's about the policy. I agree.
Like I said, it doesn't matter regardless of the policy. The way the law is, sorry, it's my neighbor. The way the law is right now and as it stands is you have to go through the process, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't make it better or worse. That's how it is now, and that's the law that should be followed.
Thank you, Gogo. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. No, thank you for the duck. I appreciate it. Like, that's ridiculous, right? No. Just because a law is a particular way does not mean it should be that way. Thank you. I appreciate the subscription. Right. Thank you so much. Or I should act in accordance with that law. If there's an unjust law, I'm not going to act in accordance with that law. Would you do the same?
You're right. You shouldn't obey the speed limit when you're going on the road. You shouldn't use your blinkers on the road. You should just be able to grab food when you go in the grocery store and just walk out, because you know what? This fucking
you understand that, like, I think that those things are wrongs for moral reasons, not just because they're illegal. Thank you for the good evening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, here, listen to this. If it was illegal for a person of color to go into a particular room, right, because of their skin color, right, would it be wrong for them to go against that law?
This has nothing to do with race.
I know, but like I'm showing you.
You're making it about race.
I'm making it about it. I'm making it about there being an unjust law. Okay,
no, it's not an unjust law. You're making it about race.
Do you want me to use someone who's gay? Okay, it's someone who's gay. It says you cannot go into this place. It's only for straight people, right? Legally speaking, and it's just a normal bar. Okay, right? In this scenario, would you say that the gay person should not go into this place, right? Just because it's discriminating on them on the basis of their sexuality.
I mean, are there things that say that? I haven't seen a store that says, "Hey, you're illegal."
Do you not understand what a hypothetical is?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, what
we're demonstrating a concept here, right? Like, for example, right, if there was a school, right, and they're talking about what should we do to limit the amount of kids that would die if there was a school unaliver, right? We should maybe make there be particular entrances, or make there be cameras, or make sure that people go through like middle metal things or something, right? Like whatever way that they would think of, okay? Those are hypothetical scenarios that they are bringing up to demonstrate concepts, things that have not happened yet, by the way, in order to prevent future harm, okay? We're talking about that as well. We're talking about this, and we're demonstrating concepts with the use of hypotheticals. It doesn't have to happen in reality. All it has to be is logically consistent.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. So what about hypothetically, what if the vast majority of illegal immigrants, I don't know if you can still hear me, I'm getting notifications, the vast majority of illegal immigrants coming into the country are rapists and murderers?
R-word or essay? I've told you this before. If you say it one more time, you're off the live. R-word or essay?
My bad. My bad. What's the correct word to use?
R-word or essay?
Did you say essay?
S-A.
Essay. Okay. Or
R-word.
Okay. Okay. If the vast majority is R-word and what was the other one? V-A-R-A, something like that. Essay? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. What, like, if that's the vast majority of illegals coming in the country, like, are those the kind of people that you want coming in this country freely?
No, I would not want a group of people who a vast majority of them are going to be rapists and criminals, right? I would not want them to be coming into the country, of course, but that is not reality, of course. So that hypothetical you just brought up is demonstrating absolutely nothing conceptually. The hypotheticals I'm bringing up are actually demonstrating concepts that are useful to the conversation that we're having.
But if they know that they're not going to get through the process of getting a visa because they know they're going to be cut their country, so they sneak into the country. Where are you going first? Are you going to stop the border crisis, or are you going to focus on the people that actually came into this country, came here legally? Yeah, I get what you're saying. They overstayed their work visas or whatever visa.
That's that's just as illegal illegal as the person who's going through the border. Just as illegal. You understand that, right?
Hey,
so if you care about it, you care about the vast majority of them more than you would care about the minority of them, right? Because we're talking about how much you're putting preference. I'm saying that both of them are ones that you should care about, but what you're doing is you're not taking that into account. You're not looking at the vast majority of people who are here undocumented. You're only looking at people who are coming through the border. So again, what is the specific reason? Because I gave you an explanation as to why I think that people are supporting that, and it doesn't seem like there's any actual explanation. It's irrational to hold that standpoint because the vast minority of them are actually coming through the country through the border.
Like I said, the people that come into this country illegally, they're coming into it illegally for not all of them. Let's not get carried away. Not all of them, but a lot of them are coming into the country illegally for a reason, because they know they're not going to be allowed into the country via work visa or whatever visas there are to give out. Okay. Like I said, why would you focus on the people that they're already in this country? They're already here. They came in legally. They went through the process. They did everything they needed to do to get into this country. Why would you focus on getting the ones? Yeah, they overstayed their visa and they're here legally. I get that. I understand what you're saying. But why would you focus on getting those ones out that actually went through the process? I'm not saying that they don't need to go, but I'm saying that why would you focus on that versus the vast amount of people coming in illegally is what I'm getting at.
Because the vast majority of people who are coming in illegally are people who are overstaying the visa.
I get what you're saying.
Right? It's irrational for you to only look at the one in which is not the majority here at a higher rate than you would look at the majority. I mean, the majority. Yeah, that's utterly absurd, right? There's no reasoning that you have for this. You're not even engaging with anything I'm saying. I think you actually think that you're engaging with it, but you just don't understand what I'm saying at this point. I have made what I've said.
I get what you're saying.
No, you don't. You really don't get it, because then you would have responded to me.
You're saying these people are illegal now. So why aren't we getting those ones out?
They're just as illegal as the people who are coming through the country on the border. Plus, also, when you also make it seem like, oh, people who are coming here, they're doing it for a reason. You understand that undocumented immigrants commit crimes at lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens?
Yeah, because they're probably fucking scared to. Wouldn't you be?
Oh my gosh. So you have no argument as to why you would say that, oh, a majority of people would be criminals or like bad people, right? Or a majority of people would be like rapists, right? You have no argument for either of these claims at all, right? All this is a scare tactics that Republicans are using towards people at the border because they're xenophobic. That's literally the fucking reason, right? There's no other explanation. You haven't been able to give me an explanation. No other person I've talked to has given me any type of explanation.
Nobody wants people coming into the country illegally. That's borderline what it is. Nobody wants.
So then why don't you care more about the people who are overstaying the visas, which you don't? So that's the fucking issue. Is you don't care about the people coming in overstaying the visa. If you cared about illegal immigration, you would care about that.
Like I said, you gotta fix the problem at the border.
Yeah, and the biggest problem is the people who are coming into the country and overstaying the visa. That's actually the biggest problem if you're talking about illegal immigration, right? But you're literally not engaging with that point at all.
I understand what you were saying. I understand what you're saying.
No, then you wouldn't have just said that again.
No, we should focus on the people that are overstaying their visas. But like I said, which one are you going to focus on first? The people that are coming into the country?
People who are overstaying the visas, because that's a vast majority of them. Like, dude, is that not like clear? Like, of course, you look at the bigger problem first, right?
No, I get what you're saying. Listen, I get what you're saying. The people are coming in this country legally is far more than the people that are coming across illegally. Now, I don't know how visas work exactly. I don't know if they're like 6 month. I don't know how long a visa lasts for or anything like that. But you also have to look at the number of people who are actually obeying the law and actually paying for their visas and actually respecting the law. Like, what is the number of people that are overstaying their visas, I guess? I don't know. I've never looked into that. So I honestly don't know that answer,
Yeah, someone put it in chat earlier. I'm pretty sure there's like Oh, actually, I don't know about overstaying. I'd have to check back at that. It's on Pew Research. Thank you, J Miles. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. But I know there are 30 million people in the country right now that have visas, right? So that's the number that you referenced. That's definitely more than like the idea otherwise. But the people overstaying, yeah, it is like all I know is from the source that I gave you from Pew Research is that it says a vast majority of the people who are coming into the country or are coming in undocumented by overstaying the visa. Right, and that's why they're considered undocumented. That's literally the reason. That's what's from Pew Research. That's not disputed, or at least when it comes empirically here.
So how many are actually like obtaining the law and actually like obeying the law with, keeping up with their work visas? Like I said, my coworker is, his English is super chopped up, but he's a super great guy.
Most of the people who are here with visas do not overstay them.
So what is that number of people that don't overstay versus the amount of immigrants?
That's what you would get if you looked at my source, right? If you look at Pew Research, because it goes over that, right?
Well, I don't even know how to go. I don't even know how to go to my messages from this.
CPT, I also already addressed that. Yes, undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit crimes than U.S. citizens.
Oh, no, don't disconnect.
Yo, thank you for that, Mustache. I appreciate it, J Miles. Thank you so much.
But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
So no, do you have a reason? Because again,
like I said, I think that the big problem is what a lot of people are worried about is, like I said, the open border of people just flooding in. And I think, honestly, a lot of people would care a lot less about it if we didn't have like the crisis of, all the crimes that illegal immigrants commit or the amount of drugs that are coming into the country.
Oh my gosh, bro. Did you listen to what I just said? Undocumented immigrants commit less crime than natural-born U.S. citizens. Did you hear that?
No. What'd you say?
Undocumented immigrants commit crimes at lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens. So if they care about crime coming from the southern border, you know what's crazy? They should be caring about it in their own neighborhood. Oh my gosh, I'm scared of AJ. Get away from me. Get away from me. You're a natural-born U.S. citizen. You're more likely than an undocumented immigrant to commit crime. I gotta be scared of you, dude.
And like I said, and same with the drug crisis that goes on. Like I said,
so make them illegal or decriminalized, like they have in other countries, and which have led to lower rates of addiction, overdose, and usage, right? And they also, like in Portugal, lower rates of addiction, overdose, and usage after decriminalization. Plus, you'd also have American producers, so that most of the drugs aren't coming in from the southern border, actually giving money to all of those cartels and funding their operations. Right, so if you want to defund those cartels, you want to get rid of their control and stranglehold over Central America and Mexico, right? How about we actually defund them by decriminalizing, legalizing drugs?
You don't think that we've tried to decriminalize drugs?
No, we've made them. What do you think the drug war is?
I think it honestly depends on. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I think. Right. And I've lived here my entire life, and I think Washington State's a shit show. I think if anybody on this channel ever has any time that they can sit down and watch some TV for a little bit, you should look into a documentary. It's on YouTube. It's free. There's 2 parts. It's called Seattle is Dying, and then the second part's called the Fight for the Soul of Seattle. And we're talking, you can get caught with up to 7 grams of heroin. And like I said, I'm talking Washington. Washington's a blue state, which I think a lot of the problems come from these blue states. If you look at the statistics from different red states and stuff like that, in Washington State, in Seattle, for example, you can get caught and arrested. Well, not necessarily arrested. You can get caught with 7 grams of heroin in one, and it's not an arrestable offense. They just sweep that shit under the rug. It's not a big deal. We're talking. Dude, it's insane. Like I said, I think as far as the drug problem comes, I think that's
that makes people more likely to get them in a safer process. But the issue right now is that we don't have federal legislation decriminalizing drugs and legalizing drugs. Right? That's what we would need, because when we don't have that happen, well, then it's also going to take people from other types of places around the world and all bring them to this particular area because they know they're not going to be criminalized. So it's going to make this particular area look super, super bad, when in reality, it's still leading to these people being better off. They're still less likely to be overdosing and dying because they actually have resources in which are meant to reduce the likelihood of that happening. Like, in Portugal, they actually have places you can go to where you can get drugs like safely injected, where that if you do overdose, there are people there to administer Narcan. There are medical professionals there that can tell you how much is too much, what is the right amount to take, and that can also help you in case of like an addiction or something like that. Psychiatrists,
you don't
right?
think that's a problem though? You don't think
No,
that's
that's better. They used to have some of the highest rates of overdose, addiction, and usage in Europe. Now they have some of the lowest.
But what I'm saying though is like, we're like these people that actually own homes. Like, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about overall statistics with everyone.
Yeah,
the head mustache. I appreciate it. Thank you, J Miles.
But like I said, I'm talking about like, if we're talking drugs, like what is a majority of users of drugs that are homeless versus not homeless? You know what I mean? Like you're like, okay, so like Oregon, for example, Oregon just legalized I think the use of shrooms, right? For whatever.
Decriminalized. Thank you for the head mustache. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
Why though?
Do you know what shrooms are?
Yes, I do.
You literally can't overdose on them. They make you like fucking super tripped out or something, right?
Yes.
But that's about it, dude. They're also super helpful they're also super helpful for microdosing, right? A lot of people use them to completely reduce anxiety, depression, PTSD by utilizing shrooms.
It's the same with ketamine. Ketamine's the same way, which is a horse tranquilizer.
Ketamine they literally use for anesthesia.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
My dad literally injects ketamine in people to put them to sleep.
I used to use it for a drug use. Is what I'm saying.
I understand. All right, I'm not saying people should use these things. What I'm saying is that the decriminalization and legalization of these things actually reduces the likelihood of these bad things happening. And if we allow for things like alcohol to be legal, shrooms being illegal makes no sense to me. Weed being illegal makes no sense to me.
Oh, I agree with the weed thing 100%. Because
same with shrooms, bro. Like,
I don't know. I've never done shrooms. I've only ever done acid, but acid doesn't.
If you've done acid's worse, bro.
Yeah, well,
I've never done that, but like
you don't hallucinate on acid. You hallucinate on shrooms.
You literally do. What are you talking about?
You do not see when you're on acid.
And actually, you don't. Not all the time.
You don't. No, with shrooms, you actually, or not shrooms. With acid, you don't hallucinate.
Thank you for that mustache. I appreciate it. Amelia, thank you for the subscription.
Everything that you see when you're high on acid is just in a different form. It's like warped differently.
That's hallucination, smart one.
Yeah, okay. But on shrooms, you're actually seeing shit that doesn't actually exist. Is what I'm saying.
No. So that's false, right? Like some people can, but that's definitely not entailed every single time you do it.
You're right. It depends, but
most times you do it, you're not going to see that. Trust me.
You've taken acid, so I know.
I haven't taken that, but I've taken
Yeah, well, a lot of people that I've been around, like I said, I've never done shrooms. I've only ever done acid, and I've done a lot of acid, and I've never.
Okay, let's not talk about this on the live, but
Oh, that's fine. But no, as far like I said, I mean, I understand. I think that there should be help for these people. I don't think that feeding into their addiction, because I mean, people always say that addiction's a disease. I don't think it's a disease. I think it's a choice. It's your choice if you want to get up in the morning. It's your choice if you want to pick up a heroin needle. It's your choice if you want to pick up a crack pipe. It's not a disease. It's your choice.
Oh no, addiction absolutely is a disease.
It's definitely not.
No, it is absolutely.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
No, you don't understand addiction if you think it's a choice, right? Like,
it's a choice.
People. No, maybe initially speaking, it was a choice for them to like start doing stuff, but it is absolutely not a choice. Like once it gets to that particular point, there are things that people could do to try and get out of it, but it is absolutely considered a disease, like medically speaking. You have no clue how hard addiction is if you say that. It's like absolutely crazy.
I think I definitely do. I've drank alcohol for a very long time, but like I said,
Were you addicted to alcohol?
I still drink alcohol to this day. Yes, I drink every day. I drink a half gallon every 3 days.
Is it so? It's your choice.
It's my choice. Absolutely, it's my choice.
And every single time. So just because you feel like it's your choice every single time doesn't mean that your addiction is the same as everyone else's addiction.
It's my choice.
And likely speaking, right? Wait. Stop today. Do it. Stop.
I don't want to.
Oh, there you go. Fucking go. Why don't you want to?
It's my choice.
Why don't you want to?
Why? Because it's my choice.
Wait, no. You're not with your want. You can choose to act upon your wants, right?
Say I want,
but I'm asking, why do you want that?
Because that's what I choose to do every day.
You know, that's literally what every addict says, right?
Yeah, but it's my choice if I want to stop at the store and pick up alcohol.
Stop then. Stop. Do it right now. Stop.
But I don't need to.
That's what I'm saying. That's literally what every addict says. Like, I'm not joking, right? That's literally. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's not as easy as just choosing, right? It definitely isn't that easy.
I'm not saying
denial is a river in Egypt.
I'm not saying that it's not easy, but I am saying that it is a choice. It absolutely is a choice.
No, okay. So, like, I don't know what you mean by choice then. What do you mean?
It's your choice if you want to go and pick up that next bottle of booze. It's your choice if you want to go pick up that crack pipe and smoke. It's your choice if you want to go buy some fentanyl and get high. That is your choice.
Here, let me clarify this. Isolating it to just a choice makes it seem like it's super easy to go in between these types of things. Sure, you did choose to pick up that thing, right? But why did you choose that? What determined that action? And fundamentally speaking, it is the disease, it is the addiction, okay? That is what pushes people to do that, right? You cannot deny that there is an internal sense of like, I feel like I have to do this. I feel like I really, really, really want to do this. That does not exist for someone like me, right? I'm never going to feel like that when I'm around alcohol.
But it's your choice. Yeah, because do you drink alcohol?
No, not often.
Yeah,
I mean, every once in a while.
I've drank every day since I was 16 years old. Like
that's what I'm saying.
I've been an alcoholic
your predisposition towards drinking and wanting to drink is significantly more than it is for me. So my choice is seen as fundamentally different from your choice, right?
Okay.
It's a lot harder for you to stop than it would be for me to stop. I just don't want to drink.
I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. It would definitely be way harder for me to stop than it would be for you. I do not disagree with that. But like I said, it still narrows down to it being my choice if I want to stop by the store and pick up a bottle of vodka when I get home from work. Like, that is my decision. That's my choice if I want to do that or not, is what I'm getting at. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but you have to view it in the way that I referenced. No, yes, it is a choice for me to say pick up this thing, right, and do that, right? But what is fundamentally determining that choice? And what does it mean? Wait, first off, what does it mean to have a choice, actually?
Huh? How is it a choice?
No. What does it mean to have a choice? Like for example, right? If someone puts a gun to my head and they say either pick this person dies or this person dies, was that my choice? Because I had a choice between the two, but was it my choice?
Sounds like it is at this point. You know what I mean?
So it is a choice, but it's a coercive cause. Okay, same way that when we relate to drugs and alcohol, there's a coercive cause. The addiction, the thing in my brain, right, is necessarily causing me to engage in this action. Right. And it's not necessarily the same in terms of coercion as it's not an actor. Right. But it is a fundamental determinant for that action. Right. It is the primary determinant.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I mean, okay, well, you know what? You obviously will have your belief in it, and I have my belief in it too. And like I said, I personally, my belief, I don't think it's a disease. I think it's a choice. Like I said, you choose. Do you get up in the morning?
Yeah.
Do you get up? Do you get out of bed, or do you lay there in the morning?
I lay there for a bit.
How long do you lay there for?
Depends on the day. All right, do I need to do something? Can I chill for a bit?
I don't know. Do you ever just wake up, shut your alarm off, and just get right out of bed right away? Or do you always just lay there 20 minutes, half hour?
I'll get out of bed some days, especially if I need to, like if I have school or something like that. But I
wish
I'd feel like maybe like an hour or so.
I wish I
like when I wake up.
Wish I could say the same. No, like I said, man, that's your choice. That's your choice if you want to lay there for a little bit longer and relax, or if you want to get out of bed right away. Like, that is your choice. I get what you're saying with the disease part of it. I am just saying personally on my behalf, on my experience with alcohol. Like I said, I've drinking for a very long time. I still drink to this day. I drink every single day, which is unfortunate for me. Yeah, I will admit that I am an alcoholic. I've been an alcoholic for a very, very long time. A lot of my friends know it. My family knows it. It's, but it's still my choice of if I'm going to drink that day or not. And I choose to drink every day. I choose to go to the store and get what I need to get. That's my choice.
I think it can be very easily described when it relates to this, right? People who have like eating disorders that relate to appetite, right? Yeah. They can choose at the end of the day to go pick up some food and eat. Right. But you know how hard it is for them to be able to do that, how much they have to go through internally to be able to fulfill that choice. right?
But it's
That is
still-
the same sort of way as it is for someone who is an addict, right? There's a
Yeah.
huge determinant factor within their brain, within their psychology, that is limiting them from being able to engage in this particular behavior. And it's really, really fucking hard to. Okay.
I get
So
it, no.
just isolating it to just a choice kind of doesn't really get like I can agree with you. Yeah, it is a choice for like someone to go eat or something like that, right? Right. I deal with that shit, right? But like,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with like the internally thing, and like, you know, it's been a. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's been something that's been, you know, basically engraved in their brain for so long that they've been doing it that, you know, they feel like it's they have to get it. They need it. You know what I mean? Like, so both my brothers and my mom are both fentanyl addicts. It's so bad to, you know, where it's to the point where I'm so numb to the idea that as soon as I get a phone call that one of them died, like, it won't surprise me when a week later that it was my mom or my brother. Like, that's how bad it is. But I don't communicate with them because, like I said, that's their decision and choice of the life that they want to live. They can better themselves. And, you know, my mom, for example, she was bettering herself for a while. I think she was getting like Suboxone or one of those drugs, right, that's supposed to help you get off this stuff. And they go see a doctor, and the doctor prescribes them, like I said, it's either Suboxone or it's some other stuff. I'm not sure what it is, but prescribes them. And then they take the Suboxone throughout their normal day to get through the day. And then as soon as the nighttime comes, they switch back to the other drugs. So they're just using the legal stuff that's given prescribed by a doctor so they can get through their normal day. Then as soon as the day is over, they switch back to the shit that they were doing. That's a choice. They're choosing to do that. You get what I'm saying? Why don't
you're not understanding the point I'm getting to that, right?
But if the Suboxone to get you off the drug is helping you throughout the day, why not keep taking that?
Oh, he cut out. He just muted. Oh, he must have got a call.
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Yeah, you're gonna have a huge echo right now. Wait, actually, it's fine. Oh, you have a huge echo. Send a guest request back, bro. Send a guest request back. You got a huge echo, man. Yeah, tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everyone. We'll probably end it here within like 12 minutes or so. So that me and AJ can go to a bar or something like that. We've been on for about 5 hours and 18 minutes. We're gonna go on for 5:30. We'll finish up with this guy, and then we will end it for today. I do appreciate everyone who did come on today. Tomorrow, what day is it? Is it tomorrow the 16th?
One more time?
Is tomorrow the 16th?
Tomorrow is the 16th, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be on probably around the same time. But by the way, on the 17th, everyone, I'm going to be on a little bit later. I'll be on a little bit later. We're going to see my grandmother. So can't wait to go see her. You can't even see me until like 2 o'clock Central Time. So I was going to spend a few hours with her at least. Post bar second account, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. But yeah, let me get this person back. Wait, does anyone remember what that person's name was? I want to be able to get them real quick.
It was D's.
Who?
D's.
Who?
D's.
Oh, fuck you.
Such a fucking idiot.
I hate this kid sometimes. Nice, enjoy. Yes, it's gonna be great. Haven't seen her. Actually, I saw her a few months ago. Thank you for the cowboy hat. I appreciate it. Haven't seen her here in Arkansas in a long time. Parker, you are ignoring this chat? No, I swear I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'm trying not to, at least. Does anyone remember the name? Can someone remind me with... Oh, Evilish. Yes, I remember the name. Okay, Evil Shun. Evil didn't accept him. There we go. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it, Kayla.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call.
Sorry, no, I apologize. I couldn't find your name for a second. I forgot it.
I forgot where we were even going with this. We're talking about drug addiction. Like I said, though, man, if the Suboxone does such a good job for, you know, people who are on heroin or fentanyl, like, why not just stick with that's medically prescribed to you versus switching back and forth just to help you out throughout the day, and then, you know, nighttime hits and you can just go right back to doing the other shit. Like, why can't you just focus on you know, making yourself better, because it's obviously working for you to get you through the day. Why are you going back to it?
I don't really get your example, to be honest.
Okay,
the addiction would be pushing them to do like you understand that here. Maybe this will get it. Like, also, I wanted to relate to addiction. Oftentimes is genetically predisposed, right? Like, there are genetic predispositions towards being addicted to alcohol, towards being addicted to other substances, having an addictive personality, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if there are genetic predispositions towards that, right, that absolutely can be seen as a disease, right?
I don't see it as a disease. Like I said,
there's genes that are determining that you're more
like,
given that you have
but like I
inclination
said,
towards it based upon your biology, your neurobiology, that I wouldn't have just by existing. Like they have a neurobiological predisposition towards smoking that, right, or drinking that I would never have. Right? I can be around this all the time. I could do it for a whole week, a whole month, and I wouldn't ever feel like that. Right? Comparative to them.
but what I'm saying is, I just seen somebody's comment and said it's because it gets them through the day. Like, so does them smoking fentanyl or heroin. So why would you just do something that you're already getting through the day with your heroin, but now you got prescribed something so you can go about your day and then just keep doing it? Like, why even bounce back and forth? Like, why wouldn't you just take what's prescribed to you and try to better yourself? Why would you choose at the end of the night to just switch back and use it for the night, and then the next morning comes, oh, I'm going to take this because this will work throughout the day, and then as soon as I get home, I'm going to choose to switch back to the other stuff? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? That's why I say it's a choice. It's a choice whether you want to go do that stuff or not. It's a choice. It's 100% a choice. I get what you're saying with the disease part of it, and like it being etched into your brain, and with it coming with in your, like, not genes, but whatever you said. I agree with it. But like I said, it still narrows down to it being a choice of what you want for yourself. It's going to be a choice. Like I said, I don't have to stop by the store when I come home from work. I never have to do that. But guess what? Every day I stop by the same store and I get the same amount of tall boys, and I have my bottle of vodka. And guess what? When I run out of my vodka, I stop by the store next to it that sells liquor and I get my bottle of vodka. That's my choice. That's my choice if I want to do that. I understand and I agree with what you're saying, though, with genetics and stuff like that, and like, genetics or addictions can be passed down through genetics. I absolutely agree with that, but like I said, it still narrows down to it being your choice.
Okay, so like, I mean, I don't think we're gonna move anywhere on that particular aspect. You want to go back to like the ideas about Trump here?
Yeah. Oh, well, I was just curious. You said you didn't support Trump. Do you support Biden?
I would vote for Biden over Trump, but I don't support Biden.
Can I? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not going to ask you. No, I'm not going to ask you why. I think that we've had a.
You can, like, I'll explain why.
No, there's no. You said you're about to go take off, visit family, man, and I think.
Oh no, I got a few more minutes. Don't worry. So like my explanation, mainly, this is going to be one of the most predominant reasons: federal judges. Right, federal judges, particularly from someone like Trump, especially Supreme Court justices, changes policy at an extremely high rate. Trump put in hundreds of federal judges on the state and local levels, and then he also put in 3 Supreme Court justices. Right, these justices are going to limit progressive policy when it relates to the courts for the next coming decades, because we have literally almost no term limits when it relates to our court system. I think we need term limits really, really badly. Like, it's like really fundamental to that type of system, as well as the courts have been politicized. That's just the reality of how it is at this point. So that is my main fundamental reason. There are economically related reasons. There are socially related reasons that I brought up earlier in terms of election fraud, obviously the way that he treats different groups of people. What he's referenced, the Muslim ban. There are many things that we could reference with that, right? But I feel like these reasons here are pretty fundamental. There's so many reasons to be against Trump that, I mean, I could do this for hours.
No, for sure. Can I ask, how do you feel about Trump being caught with the what were they, files or whatever? I forget what they were called.
Classified documents. So he literally admitted on audio recording that I would have declassified them if I could. Right. So he admitted he didn't declassify them on a call.
So what about when Biden did it?
I'd be against that too. Right.
But he did do it.
I mean, I don't have the same recording as that. I don't have evidence of that right in front of me. So if you'd like to send that to me, I'd definitely love to look at that. But if he's done similar things with classified documents, bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, he absolutely did. He did during Obama's presidency, and it's all over the news.
Well, I mean, bye-bye, right? Like I already want Joe Biden to say goodbye. Right?
Yeah, I think so too.
From politics and just like go retire or something.
Well, I mean, he was in politics for how long? 35, 45 years?
Very long. Too long.
Yeah, very
Too
long time. Too long to, never make a change in anything, and
He definitely made changes. That's a little disingenuous, but
I
not
don't think
necessarily
he
always
made that.
good changes.
I think that I don't know where everybody's living at. I don't know what their gas prices look like, but I can promise you one thing: you can look forward to this election coming up.
Yeah. Gas prices being high is a global phenomenon. It's not specific to.
They're getting ready. They're getting ready to drop down, though. They're going to drop down, and they're going to expect you to vote for them because they're going to bring the economy back, and they're doing everything right, and this and that, and that's exactly what it's going to turn into. Politics. I think whether it's Trump, Biden, whoever, politics are very, very predictable of what's going to happen, especially when it's getting close to election time, which we're very much coming close onto election time. And I think you can, if you really pay attention and focus on what's happening in the country and pay attention to prices and stuff like that, you're going to see stuff start to fluctuate, and just pay attention to what the politics say and what they have to say about it.
Thank you, Leviathan. I appreciate the subscription. Yeah, so is there anything else you want to go over or talk about, my guy?
No, man, dude. Maybe I've came across your live stream a couple times. Maybe we'll BS another time.
For sure.
Man, enjoy your time with your family.
All right, everyone, I'm going to get off for today. Leviathan, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. I'm going to get off. I appreciate everyone coming on today. I do go live literally every single day. Tomorrow I should be around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central. That's what it's going to be for us. But, or should I go... Is that good timing tomorrow? It's fine. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for that mustache. I appreciate Storm. Thank you for all of them. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get off for tonight, though. Love everyone so much. Thank you, Jay Miles. I appreciate that mustache as well. Thank you, Storm. I appreciate it. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see everyone later. Peace out, y'all. Thank you, Storm. Thank you, Storm.